The greatest road trips in franchise history, and it concludes tonight. The Aeros try to get to 500 as from Kemper Arena, it's the Aeros and the Kansas City Blades. A very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Kemper Arena. I'm Adam Gordon. It has been a fantastic road trip. The Aeros have won 4 in a row, and a win tonight would take them to 500 at 13-13-1. But the Aeros coming off a huge win Sunday against the Detroit Vipers, and it all started with a Gary Shuchuk tip of a Gordon Krupke shot, and the Aeros had a 1-0 lead. Detroit had tied it at 1, and then Guy LaRose late in the first period around Robert Dirk. How about that for an individual effort? Stuff it by Jeff Reese, and it was a 2-1 Aero lead. But Darcy Rowanka turns the puck over at center ice. Bradshaw quickly turns it around, and it would be Ivan Korovo across the line, blasting one past Rob Dobson, and it was a 2-2 hockey game. But then team captain Al Conroy working with Freer and May. Watch Al May dig up the puck, find Conroy in alone. He'll tip it past Reese. Aeros would go up 3-2 and then go on to win it by a score of 4-2. Houston now with 25 points, just 7 back of the Utah Grizzlies. The Long Beach Ice Dogs on fire. They have won 8 in a row and now are just 1 point shy of the lead with the Las Vegas Thunder. And as I turn to my broadcast partner, you're who now?
Well, that's
Troy
right.
Gamble, that's right.
Yeah, well, I missed you. I didn't miss going to those cities, but wow, did I miss some exciting Aero hockey.
And it has turned around for the Houston Aeros, and something they can do tonight that they haven't done since their inaugural season is be at 500.
Wow, what a coaching job Dave Tippett has did. You know, coming into that road trip, they win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Dave Tippett kept them positive. Look what happens. They go on a 4-game winning streak.
And it was a step-by-step process for the Aeros, and it seems to have come up really well as far as 2 players being named Players of the Week. Frederick Chabot, Goaltender of the Week, Mark Lamb, Player of the Week.
Well, first time in Aeros history that 2 players win week honors in the IHL. And when Mark Lamb's scoring goals like that and Frederick Chabot is keeping them out, you're going to win a lot of hockey games.
And it has been a team effort, and I think both those guys would tell you that right from the start. From the Kansas City Blades side of things, they made a big acquisition several weeks back, and he has really paid off, and he comes from the Long Beach Ice Dogs, Jason Cerrone.
Well, what he offers this team is he can score goals, but he can also win faceoffs, and we always talk about winning faceoffs. Well, this guy wins a lot of them. Aeros are going to have to be leery of that. In the first 2 meetings, he's had a couple goals. Aeros need to keep him off the score sheet.
And it takes us to our Gamble game plan. You know, the Orlando Solar Bears have just coming off a 16-game winning streak, so 4 games a long way from that. So I think, you know, if the Aeros want to keep winning, euphoria is the first thing they got to be wary of.
That's all over that locker room right now. You can see how happy the guys are. They're so confident. One thing Dave Tippett is a little leery of, don't be too confident here, guys. Let's keep it going. The big guys, well, we talked about a couple big guys. What about Gary Shuchuk? What about Al May stepping up? And then the acquisition of Carl Belmont. Everything's starting to fall into place. The Blades, Kansas City Blades, a lot of people picked them to win the division this year. They've struggled, only 8 wins so far. Aeros want to keep them down early and pound on them all night.
Yeah, you know the Blades will be there when it counts. When we return, it's the opening face-off. The Aeros and the Kansas City Blades from Kemper Arena. Houston Aeros Hockey on KNWS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, with low fares on every seat, every flight, every day. And by Columbia Healthcare. Healthcare has never worked like this before. And by your local Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers. Test drive one today. And by Whataburger, the homegrown Texas taste since 1950. Welcome to Kemper Arena, everybody. Adam Gordon, Troy Gamble, as we get set for the Aeros of the Kansas City Blades. And in goal, Frederick Chabot. His string of 15 straight snaps Sunday when Rob Dobson started, so time for him to start another 15 in a row. He, by the way, is now the record holder for that, breaking Troy Gamble's mark, and you see his numbers there. And in goal for the Kansas City Blades, Philippe Derouville, who has played extremely well for the Kansas City Blades, although his record may not indicate it. 6-6-3 and a 3.07 goals against average. Dave Tippett, he said, you know, it's just a matter of doing the little things, and that has turned that hockey club around. And Don Jackson, the head coach of the Kansas City Blades. And we are underway. The Blades will move it from left to right. And here is Jason Herter. He'll launch the puck up and out at center. It's back to the Aero end. LaRose trying to clear it. And it's moved along the boards. Purvis takes Lamb to the wall. And the Blades have it. And Normand Rochefort fired it in. Gord Krupke back in his own zone as he's watched by David Bruce. And here's Gary Shuchuk out at center. The pass for Lamb. He'll bring it across the line, but that's knocked away. Aeros LaRose trying to dig it out. It's out to center. Blades trying to clear it. Here's LaRose down the left side. He had that tipped away. Here's a centering pass, and that goes wide. Back to the line. Krupke a long shot. That's intercepted, and the Blades scamper to center. John Purvis across the line, cutting in. He centered a pass. Shot stopped by Shabbat, and then he was hit by David Bruce after the play. But Joe Ernst, our referee, says not enough for a penalty. Shuchuk turns it around, drops it for Lamb. Lamb is in on goal, pulls up, looks for the pass. He'll jam one to the corner. Gary Shuchuk for Guy LaRose, cutting around the boards. Aeros trying to find that lane to pass, but it was knocked away by Craigwell. And the Blades are back, just underway from Kemper Arena in a scoreless hockey game. It is Paul Dick to center. On the boards, he'll pass to neutral ice for Ian Boyce. It goes into the arrow, and Shabbat trying to knock it down. In there is Dean Sylvester. He centered a pass. Knocked away by Basiggio, and the Arrows move to center ice. Al Conroy, the lead pass. Give it to Freer. Down the left side. Shooting glove save by Guy Rouville. And Craigwell turns it around. Craigwell to Sylvester. The pass off skates. And it's out to center. Paul Dick left side. And it goes into the arrow end. Basiggio after it. He and Boyce collide behind the arrow cage. It came out in front. Freer was there. And Freer scampers back behind the net. Good start to this hockey game as the puck is out to center and into Kansas City territory. And Jimmy Kite will hustle back to play. 2 minutes gone in the first. Still no score. And the puck shot in. Shabbat will knock it down. Carl Valamont will go back to play. He'll spin the pass over to Mark Gregg, and he'll launch it out to center. And here is Gary Emmons at center ice. Now it's Mark Gregg trying to turn the puck around for Houston in neutral ice. Dropped it for Graham Townsend. Townsend trying to cut in there. It's knocked away. And out come the Kansas City Blade. Across the line they come. A shot ripped around the boards by Brent Cullinan. And it's knocked down by the Aeros, and Townsend came to center. Blades back, Normand Rochefort. Give it to Claudio Scremin. Pass to center for Gary Emmons. Tipped away by Bill Bowler. Puck is loose. And the Blades have got it. Gary Emmons across the line, and he'll gently roll it into Arrow territory. Shabbat swings it over to Mike Hurlbut. We have played nearly 3 minutes and have not had a whistle yet. Good pace to this hockey game. Townsend trying to bring one in there. Here is Mark Gregg across the line. Gregg trying to cut in around the left side, down around Jason Herter. And it's fired to the boards. Mark Lamb, base of the right circle, getting set. Hands it over to Mark Gregg. He's tied up along the boards. David Bruce trying to loosen it up. And the Blades back to play it. And it's turned along the near side. Jim Kite hoists it to center. This will bounce back into Arrow territory, and Shabbat forced to play it. That will negate the icing. Krupke ripped it along the boards over to Gary Shuchuk. Shot it ahead, and here come the Arrows 3-on-3. Lamb across the line. LaRose going to the net. Here's a centering pass, and Cerrone got back to tip it away from Basiggio, who was cleared by Cerrone in the corner. Now Lamb to Shuchuk. He was all alone in front, and his shot went wide. Oh, Gary Shuchuk, I don't think had good wood on that like he wanted, and Cerrone will go back to play. Puck along the boards. David Bruce is there. He'll scamper up and out of center ice. What a start to this hockey game.
Well, I guess they didn't want me to talk too much tonight, Adam. This game's just flying along.
We're just about, well, we are 4 minutes gone in this first period, a scoreless hockey game. Not really a lot of scoring chances. The Arrows have had maybe 2 good scoring chances. The Blades yet to really have a good one. Here is a pass that came in. Dean Sylvester bumped by Alan May. Puck into the near corner. It was centered. Loose puck came back to the line. Scremin had to go back to neutral ice and regroup.
You get the sense that both teams are playing very disciplined, very simple hockey.
Puck goes back down for Carl Valamont. He'll slide one along the board. Sylvester and him collide. The puck came out in front. Arrows trying to clear, cannot. Here's a chance for Ian Boyce. He is pursued by Conroy. Here's Ian Boyce. Centered. The shot. Score! It was Dale Craigwell from Ian Boyce, and the Blades take a 1-0 lead.
Ian Boyce down low doing all the work behind the net, shaking off Al Conroy to get a centering pass to Craigwell, who makes no mistake and buries it over the right shoulder of Frederick Shabbat. Craigwell just sifting down in front, ends up going to the right side. Frederick Shabbat going from his left post out, but what a great play down low to get the puck to Craigwell, who puts it past the sprawled Frederick Shabbat.
So the Blades come out and get the first goal of the hockey game, and they lead it by a score of 1-0. Mike Yeo making his return to the lineup after missing 3 games. With a bad knee, he got it back in Manitoba. And here come the Kansas City Blades out to center. Jeff Medill across the line. He walked around. Krupke shooting. And it was offsides anyway. And play is whistled down, and we'll take time out. 1-0. The Blades lead it from Kemper Arena. We'll be right back. Four and a half gone in the first period. Blades with a 1-0 lead. We send it down to Rob Dobson. Dobber, this has been a good start as far as the pace is concerned, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think so, Adam. And one thing you have to look to is that when a team gets hot, like we've been the last part of this road trip, or teams become aware of that, and they come out to try to take the play early in the game that they have. And we just have to get back to doing the things that have made us successful this far in the trip.
Thank you. Puck is controlled by the Houston Aeros. Here is Mike Hurlbutt. He'll move it up the board. No, he lost it. And it's taken away by Medill. Sends it to Emmons. Right back. Medill shooting from a sharp angle. Hit the side of the net. Rolled away by Hurlbutt. Moves it up for Mike Yeo. Trying to clear the zone. Emmons knocked it down. And it's blasted the length of the ice. Icing has indicated this will go through the goal crease, which will negate the icing. Now it's dug out by the Aeros. Mike Yeo cutting in. He shoots. They score! Mike Yeo! It might have been tipped by Bowler. Hard to tell from this angle, but the Aeros come back and tie the game at 1.
What a weird play. The puck ended up going through the blue area in the crease. So that means it's not icing. And it looked like the Kansas City Blades defense kind of let up a little bit. Mike Yeo fires a puck onto the net that fools the goalie. And when he fires it here, it changes and it handcuffs Druville that he doesn't know what's going on. The player hits Mike Yeo's stick down as Mike Yeo goes to shoot the puck. The puck is bouncing, and that's just one of those goals that you love to see because it's not a pretty goal, but it's 1-1, so who really cares?
5th goal of the year for Yeo in his first game back. And I like his quote following the game in Detroit. He says, Adam, it was a pleasure working with you. May I never have to do it again. Sometimes I think that's your sentiment.
Well, and he did a great job, though, Adam. He really did. I was listening. Very good job by Mike.
Here's LaRose again shooting, and he let a shot go wide. Puck came in front, and then it was handcuffed again by Druville. So the Aeros spotted the Blades 1 early there, but now have come back and put a couple of good scoring chances on Philippe Druville.
Well, Druville, he looks like kind of shaky tonight, and Guy LaRose, being the veteran player that he is, I'm sure is going to try to take advantage of it. The first shot of the game, he kind of batted out of the air. Guy LaRose taking another shot on Druville. So these guys are going to try to take advantage of maybe a little shaky goaltending by Philippe Druville.
Off the face-off, the Aeros will have shoot Chaperones in line, but Blades win it. Here's Jim Kite, and he'll bring it up. Actually, that's Paul Dick, pardon me, out to center ice, and the Aeros have got it. Basicchio brings one back into the Kansas City zone. Paul Dick goes back. And it's controlled by Jim Kite. Run along the boards, and the Kansas City Blades turn it around. John Purvis on its center. And it's dumped in by Paul Dick. Here is Steve Jakes along the boards. That's knocked down by David Bruce. Scampering back to play it is Basicchio. He'll smack it along the boards for Guy LaRose. That's knocked down by David Bruce. Hammered along the boards by Basicchio. Lamb goes back to play it. Ripped it along the boards, and it's back out at center ice. Icing is indicated. As the Blades go back, they will touch. Jim Kite is there, and play is whistled down. The Aeros and the Blades tied at 1, and we send it right back down to Rob Dobson and Dobber. Again, the Aeros come back with a nice goal.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've done very successful on this trip is that we've been able to get back and get things going after they've scored. And one thing to mention on Troy's comment about Philip there, he hasn't played the last couple games, and I know sometimes that gets guys off a roll. Plus the 4 games before that, he was pulled or he and Larry Dick split the role. So that's something to look forward to the rest of the night.
Is there any one thing in your mind that stands out that has helped turn this club around?
Well, I think that we all just started to believe in each other and started to do the little things that we weren't doing early in the season. And this road trip couldn't have come at a better time for us.
Seems like that's what everybody's saying. Thanks, Dauber. Here's Al Conway, a pass out at center ice. Freer move it down the right side, get it into Kansas City territory. Druville will slow. Morissette comes in there, lowers the boom in the corner. Freer trying to dig it out, but Craigwell is there. Blades turn it up ice. And it's brought ahead by Normand Rochefort. And it's shot into the arrow end. This is the line that I think really wreaked the most havoc against the Aeros in Houston in that home series, that little 2-game home series. Craigwell and Boyce really, they work so hard. They may not show up points-wise, but you know they're in there.
Well, their work ethic is second to none in the IHL.
Here's Craigwell. It takes a puck away. Give it to Boyce. Cutting down the right side. Dropped it back. Claudio Scremin looks in front. The shot hit the post, but it hit the outside of the post. Into the near corner. Dug out by Craigwell. Freer tries to loosen it up. A long shot that goes just wide as Boyce was cutting in. And here come the Houston Aeros. They've got a 3-on-2. Freer across the line with more set, but his pass just scoots away. And DeRouville will cover up and hold on with just about 7 minutes gone in this first period. A 1-1 hockey game.
Mark Freer driving hard to the net once again. Seems like he's found his legs once again. He's got a very good high step going, skating very hard with 8 points in his last 9 games.
Well, here's a guy, and Mark Freer has been so frustrated. You know, he says, Adam, the tough part is when I'm not scoring. Like last year, I felt, and this is Mark Freer I'm quoting, he says, my defense even suffered last year. He says, this year, if I'm not scoring, well, my defense is a little bit better. And, you know, I'm so happy for Freer, the way he has played in the last 3 hockey games. It's not just the defense. He's gotten some beautiful assists, and that's what they're counting on from Mark Freer. Face-off, controlled by the Blades. Medill worked to the corner, and then he hammers Greg down to the ice right in front of Joe Ernst, but no penalty. Jim Kite, base of the circle in his own zone, blasts it out at center ice. Mike Hurlbutt will go back into his own end. Steve Jakes, the long lead pass. It's out to center ice. Bill Bowler will shoot it in. Mark Gregg goes in after it, but it's tipped away along the boards by Jason Herter. He'll smack it to center, and Kansas City going the other way. Culloden across the line. He's knocked down by Jakes, and a penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros. Steve Jakes will bring it to you when we return. It's a 1-1 hockey game, and after this, it's the Blades power play. Game is tied at 1, 12.5 to play in this first period. Troy and Steve Jakes in the box.
Well, Brent Culloden ends up going wide on Steve Jakes. Culloden shows a very good burst of speed. Steve Jakes is trying to wedge his stick in there to slow him up. After he wedges his stick, he gives a little twist, and Joe Ernst gives him 2 minutes for hooking.
You know, the Aeros, what a turnabout. It was funny. Their power play all year long, or at the start of the year, was fantastic, and their penalty killing struggled, but it's flip-flop. Their penalty killing now 10th in the IHL at 83.5%. Kansas City power play very anemic at 13.3%. And the Aeros win the draw as they try to kill off this penalty to Steve Jakes, and there's Krupke to shoot at the length of the ice. Herter will go back to play it. Here's Jason Herter in behind the net, and he'll turn it around from left to right. Herter bring it up and out at center ice. Claudio Scremin, that's knocked away. It goes into the Blade zone, and it's knocked down by Philippe DeRouville. And Kansas City turns it around. Here is Claudio Scremin. He'll move it through the neutral zone, and he'll run into the arrow end. Here is Ian Boyce, base of the right circle. Tossed one back. Scremin getting set on the power play, which is down to a minute 23. Puck comes back to the line. Herter for Gary Emmons. He'll line, shoot. That was deflected. Picked up by Scremin, pinching in the arrow end. He centered one. That hit a skate. Emmons turns along the boards. Here's Herter. Winding, shooting, stopping Shabbat, and the puck goes just wide. Krupke flipped it along the boards. It came out to Ian Boyce. Power play down to a minute 2. Here's a drive. Hit the post. Rebound is pushed away, and it's out at center.
I don't know if you get the feeling tonight. That's about the 4th post that has been hit during this game. That puck is bouncing all over the place.
Claudio Scremin turns the puck around, makes his move around Basigio, sends it Cerrone, trying to cut in. He's in, shoots. Shabbat, a great save as Cerrone walked right around Carl Valamont. Here's Scremin, back to the line. Paul Dick shooting. It's stopped by Shabbat, and finally he will hold on to it. Tell you, the Blades a few times tonight have had their way working around the Aero defense.
Well, they've shown very good speed coming at the Aeros defense. The Aeros defense trying to stand up as much as possible. Scremin had a couple shots on that power play. David Bruce, Aeros just looking a little sluggish. Maybe all that euphoria, you can see that Cerrone's going around. Watch Frederick Shabbat's right leg. What a save there. He stayed with Cerrone. Even though he was down on the ice, he kept his body going from the left to the right, making a very good save in the net. And Frederick Shabbat, as you said, much needed rest the other night, and I was glad to see Rob Dobson come in and just do a great job. Rob Dobson was awarded the Antler Award for that effort. I saw it down by his locker today.
Well, for a minute there, I thought they were going to have to put a little toupee on his head from standing on it all day. He was unbelievable. Face off to the right side of Frederick Shabbat. Conroy ready to take this face off. It's won by the Blades. Tossed back to the line, Sylvester. Knocked it down along the boards. Valamon is there, trying to shovel it over to Conroy. He can't clear the zone. Sylvester from the point. The shot never made it to Shabbat. It's back out at center in the power play, down to 17 seconds. Blades John Purvis trying to bring the puck in. That's nipped away by Conroy. Back out at center. Here comes Sylvester again across the line. Dropped it back. The pass. Cerrone shooting, and he flipped it wide of the net. Mason Cerrone along the left wing. Bumped by Conroy. Aeros trying to dig it out. They can't. Penalty is over to Jake, so teams at 5 aside. Puck is jammed loose, and Freer will bring it up. Here's Mark Freer. He'll sweep it out the center for Al Conroy. Jakes leads the rush, and now the Aeros can make the change on the fly with 10:19 to go in the first. Game tied at 1.
Very smart move by Al Conroy, just gaining the red line, dumping it in so that he can get a change along with his line mates.
Puck is out at center. Graham Townsend bumped by Purvis. Here comes Bill Bowler the other way. Bowler across the line, pulls up, gets set, turns one down to the corner for Hurlbut, but it comes to Townsend. Down is Mark Gregg. Lets a shot go, and that's blistered wide of the net. Held in at a point by Krupke. That's knocked away. And the Blades bring it out to center ice. Gary Emmons sends it back for Dale Craigwell, who has the Kansas City tally. And Krupke will gather in for Houston, and he'll molder up ice. Now look for refuge behind the cage. Hurlbut is there to play it, and here's Bill Bowler. Couldn't clear the zone. Jim Kite held it in. Tossed it back down Medill, trying to center it, and now it's jumped on by Mark Gregg, and it's flipped out at center ice. 9.5 to go in the first. We're tied at 1. Blades out shooting the Aeros 8-4. Shabbat will cover up the puck, and he will hold on with 9:20 to go in this first period. And tell you what, this new look that the Houston Aeros have, you get a chance to see it Friday night at 7 o'clock. The Aeros hosting the Long Beach Ice Dog, and that is from the Summit. And you can contact the Aeros at 629-3700. That's actually Ticketmaster's number. You can call them and get your tickets. Again, 629-3700, and you can come out and see the boys. And I know you haven't seen them in the last 4 games, Troy Gamble, and here you are, 9:20 left in the first. Your thoughts?
Well, the first thing I noticed is that they are making better decisions with the puck. That word, all I heard today after I flew in was simple, simple. You can see that the Aeros are playing very simple hockey.
And that's really what you got to play on the road as the puck goes out of play is simple hockey, I think, on the road. One thing that Mike Yeo touched upon when he was doing the color, and it's something that, you know, fans should know about, it can be ugly hockey. You don't have to put on a show for the fans. You just come in, you play it simple. And I don't know, my question for you then is maybe that the philosophy they have to take when they go home?
Well, they have to take out of this road trip that they have played well. They want to finish it off on a positive note here in Kansas City and be prepared for Friday night. I believe now, though, Adam, they're finding ways to win, and that will make things a lot easier when you are going home.
Exactly. Puck is in the Aero end, and there goes Mark Lamb in behind the cage. And again, the Aeros, we want to touch upon the fact that they win tonight, they will be at 500 for the first time in almost a year and a half. Not since back in the 90s. Well, actually, I should say they were over 500 at the end of the 94-95 season, so it wouldn't be a year and a half, it'd be about a little over a year. A year and a quarter. Regardless, they're playing some great hockey. Here is Dale Craigwell across the Aero line. He'll waltz in, lets his shot go. Stopped by Shabbat. Puck is in front. And there's a big scramble for it. And play is whistled down. Timeout on the ice. We are tied at 1, and we'll have more from Kemper Arena when we return. Be sure to stay tuned to the game, because later tonight we're giving away a round-trip ticket for 2 anywhere Southwest Airlines flies, plus a $500 gift certificate from Academy and a $500 gift certificate for accommodations from Ace Travel. Feel like Monty Hall, and a moment ago, a pileup in front of Frederick Shabbat.
Well, it looks like Kansas City Blades are trying to get as much traffic in front of Frederick Shabbat as they can get. Frederick Shabbat playing very well on the top of his crease, covering up the rebound.
Off the face-off, Aeros have it. And here's Mike Yeo, who has the Aero tally in a 1-1 game. Puck is in the Aero, and Purvis trying to center one. It's knocked down by Al May, and he'll bring it up ice. Al May through the neutral zone, shoots the puck into Kansas City territory. Yeo comes firing in there. Battle along the boards. It's loosened up by David Bruce. Shot it along the wall. Knocked down by May. Turns in front. His shot right on, and Deruville is there. Puck is pushed up to the line. Held in Krupke. A long shot block. But Krupke will go back to center and regroup for Houston. But his pass turned around by Paul Dick, and the Blades shoot it into Aero territory. Shabbat there to slow it, and the Aeros turn it around. 7:45 to go in this first period in a 1-1 hockey game from Kemper Arena. Glad to have you with us tonight on KNWS Channel 51 and, of course, a radio flagship station tonight, 106.9 FM KKHT. Graham Townsend will shoot the puck in, and we've got another penalty coming up. This time, it'll be to the Blades as Jim Kite touches, and it will be an interference call as Mark Gregg was hauled down, and the Aeros will get their first crack on the power play. Claudio Scremin will sit.
Had a chance to talk to Joe Ernst before the game. Said he was looking to call a tight game tonight. Last time that these two teams met, it was a very rough affair. I don't know if the league office called him, but he was going to call it very tight. Well, you're going to look for a little holding and hooking, and Scremin is going to go to the box for hauling down Mark Gregg.
The Aeros power play is at 15.3% as you look at the penalty.
That ends up being cross-checking. Could have been hooking, holding, rope-a-dope.
2 minutes for wrangling. And Don Jackson, you know, it's too bad. He's such a great coach, too, but he's more known in this league for his incident in Atlanta with the mascot.
He does not like to talk about that incident. You don't ever bring it up.
No. It's an incident that it's funny, when he went to Quebec, when this Blade hockey team went to Quebec, he was surrounded by lots of media, but the question they asked him was about the mascot, as opposed to this guy has been a terrific coach everywhere he's been. Off the draw, the puck goes down, and it's controlled by the Blades, and shot over the glass and out of play. And oh boy, did a little kid get nailed? I hope not. Oh, a guy got hit. And you know what really is too bad about that? The whistle, it sounded the player was just shooting it out of play and nailed a guy pretty good, so hopefully he'll be all right. He'll be tended to.
Mark Gregg, who had his 400th career assist a couple of weeks ago against Orlando. There's a guy that can score and make plays.
Talk about Orlando. Last night, their 16-game winning streak over. They were handed a 5-4 defeat in Quebec.
13,000 on hand in Quebec. Once again, they're leading the IHL in attendance. Tough building to go to.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. We don't have to go there this year, and thank goodness for that. Face off to the right side of Frederick Chabot. And the puck poked back to the line. It's held in by Rochefort. Aeros on the power play, but the Blades have controlled it a little bit here. But the Aeros still have a minute and a half to go on their power play. A little over a minute and a half. Here comes Mark Gregg, winds it up at center. The pass, rink wide, knocked away by Boyce. Craigwell had to retreat in his own zone, and Jim Kite will shoot it down the ice. Mark Lamb will go back and look to set up this power play. It's the first power play of the night for the Houston Aeros. Here comes Hurlbut at center. And he lost his advantage as he had to go back and get the puck. LaRose, his pass, a flutterer that Lamb will go back. So the Aeros having a little trouble right now trying to bring it up ice.
And the two players that you mentioned, Boyce and Craigwell, killing the penalties all over the place.
Yeah. And now Lamb turned the puck over. Here come the Blades. Cerrone cutting in. Looks in front. And then he turns and lets his shot go. And that is deflected away. And it bounds back out to center ice. And who's got it? Puck is nowhere to be found, but it was knocked away and play whistled down. The speed that hits the fans. It's all hockey, whether you need to entertain clients, reward employees, or just want a few nights out with friends and family. The Houston Aeros have a season ticket package for you. You can enjoy discounts on Aeros merchandise and skating at the Aerodrome. Call 627-AERO for more information. That's Houston Aeros Hockey Sports, the way it ought to be.
Graham Townsend back in the lineup. 21 games, has 10 goals, 5 assists for 15 points. And he just played his 500th career game, pro hockey game.
Well, he came back in Manitoba, his first game back from the knee strain, scored a goal. And the next night in Kalamazoo, scored a couple of goals.
And also, Adam, the one coaching move that Dave Tippett did before the Aeros went on the road trip, I don't know if you heard the story, but brought me out of retirement for one practice. The boys lit me up like a Christmas tree, and they go on the road. And
so you're taking responsibility for this success because you've given them their confidence back.
Well, they were snapping them by me pretty easy.
Here is Bill Bowler in behind the net, trying to make his move around a couple of defensemen, but Paul Dick is there, hammered by Townsend. The Blades turn the puck around. Power play still on for the Aeros, but they've yet to get a shot on goal on this power play. And here's Herter cutting it. In fact, the Blades have kind of carried the play more to the Aeros. Now a battle for the puck in the Aero end. Herter working over there pretty good, and now the Aeros come away with it.
Well, you know that the Blades are being very aggressive when Jason Herter, a defenseman, is in the corner forechecking. Usually you don't see that when a team's trying to kill a penalty.
Valamon a pass for Bowler. That's tipped away right out at center ice. And the Aeros trying to regroup once again with the penalty down to 4 seconds. There's a pass in for Freer, but that's knocked away by Craigwell, and Townsend ran into him. Townsend fell down, but the couple of Mack trucks collided there. Teams are 5 aside. Mike Hurlbutt, left wing board, shot the puck back to the blue line. Here come the Blades. Jeff Medill moving in, winding, shooting, and that went just wide of the net. Bill Bowler goes back into his own zone. The pass over to Moose Morissette. And here comes Steve Jakes. He'll backhand it into the Kansas City zone. Rochefort is back with 5 minutes to play in this first period. A 1-1 hockey game. Jim Kite will go back to play the puck in his own zone. He'll move it up the left side, give it to Jeff Medill, to center for Gary Emmons. He'll shoot it into Aero territory. Shabbat back to play it. He'll sweep it along the boards, but right to Gary Emmons. Emmons looks in front. He's knocked off the puck by Valamont. Puck to the line. Here's a shot. Glove save. And then it was bobbled by Shabbat and poked away by Jakes. Here's the shot again right on. And Shabbat stopped it. The Aeros, Frederick Shabbat got lucky. And then finally the Aeros able to clear it down the ice. Icing indicator as Jim Kite goes back. Oh, it's waved up. And then DeRubel's got to lean over there. Wow, some wild turn of events here. But finally we get a whistle. We'll take timeout. 4:23 to go in the first period. 1-1. We'll be back.
Aeros 1, Kansas City 1. And Adam, you asked me what's the difference? Hustle. Look at this hustle by Al May, just plain outworking Dick, hooking up his stick, beating him to a loose puck, and Rouville has to pounce on it. That's just plain hustle from Al May.
Face off left side at DeRubel. And off the draw. It's dug out by Scremin, and he'll turn along the boards. Here come the Kansas City Blades. Paul Dick, pass to John Purvis. He was bumped by Guy LaRose, who had maybe the goal of the year. We showed at the top of the telecast that goal he scored in Detroit. Oh man, in fact, he had a great goal in Fort Wayne, short-handed. Here come the Aeros. Lead pass knocked away. John Purvis turns it around. 3-on-2 the other way for Kansas City. Here's Purvis. Looks to let the shot go. Boy, he just whistled that wide of the net. Back to the line. Scremin had to regroup at neutral ice. I don't think there's anybody better off that puck with a shot than John Purvis.
I was just going to say, that's the one guy you don't want to give that open shot off the wing because he can zip it.
Here he comes again. Lets a drive go right on, and Shabbat will see it the whole way. And let's send it down to the bench. And Rob Dobson, your thoughts?
Well, I think, Troy mentioned it there. He looks to all the hustle that we've had. The first 4 games of the road trip, it's been a constant 60 minutes of hustle. Tonight we've gotten away from it a little bit. We've showed spurts, especially on the goal. Al May's play there at the end. And, I think we have to get back to constantly putting pressure on them every shift. The games we've been successful, that's what's happened. We have to get back to that.
Rob, I must ask you about Ann Arbor. The Aeros going to Ann Arbor for a couple days. How was it on campus?
Well, actually, there wasn't much going on. A lot of the Thanksgiving kids were away and stuff. But, it was a good couple days off. But we're back to play hockey now. Hopefully we get going from there.
Thanks, Albert. Face off to the right side of Frederick Shabbat. And Basigio will play it. In behind the cage. We're down to 3:28 to go in the first. Here is Basigio. He'll launch it high in the air. That will check up in the blade end. It'll trickle down. Aeros trying to get there. Icing the call. I thought Townsend may have beaten Norman Rochefort, but linesman says no, and he makes the call. Icing and the face-off back in the Aero end.
And Mark Gregg was also down there showing the hustle. And that's one thing that you cannot teach as a coach is hustle and work ethic. And we're seeing it tonight, how that they are hustling to all the loose pucks. Graham Townsend's going to battle for the loose puck. No one's touched it yet, so there's no icing. And it ends up that likely should not have been icing as Mark Gregg also, because he touched it with his foot.
It's supposed to be the stick. Possession of the stick, I thought.
No, I believe it is the possession of the stick, so they had a valid point when they were arguing.
Well, face off right as Shabbat. Leads win the draw. Came back to the line, and a long shot stopped by Shabbat, then he bobbled it. And it's rolled away by Basigio, but it came right over to Brent Pelleton. And then he lost the puck, and it's quickly cleared out at center by Bill Bowler.
Both goaltenders having trouble catching the puck tonight. I don't know if their gloves are wet or what's going on, but both have bobbled a couple pucks.
Here's Bill Bowler to play it. And play whistle down with 2:50 to go in this first period. We're tied at 1. And the Aeros And a good one here.
Dave Tippett had a chance to chat with him for a few minutes tonight. Very pleased with the work ethic. The one thing that he was saying is that 10-day road trip, but it was not always flying. He really enjoyed the time on the bus. He believed that the guys really got together, as when you're flying, you're spread out amongst the airplane. On the bus, it was just the hockey guys, and they must have enjoyed it.
Playing outstanding hockey, winners of 4 in a row, and in a good one here, tying to 1. Leeds turn it out at center ice, though. Here they come. It's Cullinan, tipped away by Jakes, and Graham Townsend will bring it up. Townsend rumbling down the left side. He'll hoist it into Kansas City territory. Rochefort's back, and it's shot out at center ice, and Basigio will go back to play. Dave Basigio off the boards. Graham Townsend trying to turn that puck around. Medill in a battle there with Basigio. And here come the Houston Aeros. Bill Bowler across the line. They'll shoot the puck in. And Philippe Lerouville knocked it down, but right over to Townsend. Townsend trying to knock it over to Frank. It's scooped along the boards for Bill Bowler. Waiting behind. Then he's centered. Here's the shot. That made it to Durouville. They bang away at it. It came back for Bowler behind the net. Centered the shot. Townsend slammed it just wide. And it's centered again by Bowler. Back to the line. And finally snatched up by Philippe Durouville. You know, one thing about Graham Townsend, and we haven't really touched upon it much, is how well he has been playing with Bill Bowler. Who would have thought you put a big guy like that up with a crafty little center iceman, Bill Bowler? But Townsend's been able to read him really well, and that little give and go pass where Townsend goes to the net has worked really well, and it almost paid off twice on that shift.
Well, the one biggest difference I've noticed in being around Graham Townsend for 3 years is he gets himself this year in a lot better shooting angles. His body position is a lot better. He's more square to the goaltender, so that when he does get the puck and it's on his stick, he fires it so quick. He's just in a very good position.
Puck is shot into the arrow end. Here is a pass that came back, knocked away, and heads up. Fair shoots that into the crowd. And play is whistled down. Mike Hurlbutt has come back, and really, you know, a lot of people have talked about the Aeros, Mike Hurlbutt coming back, and Dave Basigio. Those two guys have played really well, but it's been Hurlbutt that has played some extremely good hockey lately.
Well, he's just skating so well, and he's making good decisions with the puck. He's making good passes. And one thing is that against Kansas City, he had 3 points, and he was a +3.
Off the boards, the Aeros Mark Freer trying to clear. He's tied up with Paul Dick, and play whistled down. Can't wait. I'll tell you, I am really excited about getting home. You know, you've been away for 5 days, and I can't wait to get home to see the Aeros at the Summit, and with this new look that they've got. Well, it's coming up at 7 o'clock on Friday. Troy, I mean, I know you've been at home, but for you, you've got to be excited about getting back, seeing this team at the Summit.
Well, I think that we're going to see a different team at the Summit. That's why I'm so excited, is this team is finding ways to win. And it's hard you cannot teach that. It has to happen, and it's coming from within the locker room, and that's why they're having that success. It came from within the guys in that Aero locker room.
Is back out at center ice, and the Blades are there with 1:10 to go. In this first period, we're tied at 1, and whistle stops play. And, you know, you look at things, Troy, the Aeros only 9 points out of first place with Las Vegas. I mean, 9 points, and what are we in here? We're in 26 games into the season.
Yeah, and Al May, who in his last 12 games is plus or even, which means that he's getting the job done. Maybe not offensively, but when he's on the ice, he's not getting scored against. He's playing very well. Actually had an assist on Al Conroy's game-winning goal in Detroit, making a beautiful pass to Al Conroy to pick up another point for Al May.
Off the draw, Blades have it out at center. And into the arrow end. That is gloved by Shabbat. Trying to find a man to play to. It is Dave Basigio. Under a minute to play in the first. Here comes Guy LaRose to center. LaRose the pass. Here comes Shuchuk in. His centering pass nipped away by Cerrone. Now the pass came down low for Gary Shuchuk. He centered the pass. It went off the skate of Mark Lamb, and David Bruce turns it around. He'll move it out the center and fire it into Aero territory. Shabbat spins it over to Steve Jakes, and that will go the length of the ice. And then they say no, they'll wave off the icing. 25 seconds to go in the period. Here come the Kansas City Blades. Gary Emmons through the neutral zone, hits the line. Emmons, quick shot blocked by Hurlbut. Mark Gregg trying to loosen it up. It's in skates. Emmons still tied up there with Hurlbut with 10 seconds to go in the period. Gregg trying to kick it free. He'll send it along the boards for Tucky. Smacked it along the wall. It came back to the line. Jim Kite hooked the pass down low. Emmons, and that'll be the period as he stuffs one in there. And Medill kind of colliding in there, and finally play is whistled with the buzzer. It is a 1-1 hockey game. Mike Yeo has one of the goals tonight. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. It is brought to you by High-Low Auto Supply. The Kansas City Blades get on the board first. Dale Crangwell, 5th of the season at .433. Ian Boyce getting the only assist, but the Aeros come back. It would be Mike Yeo getting his 5th of the season at .503, unassisted for Yeo, and this game is tied at 1. When we return, we'll have a news update, and then we'll visit with Gary Shuchuk. A 1-1 hockey game following 20 minutes of play. Welcome back to Kemper Arena. Adam Gordon alongside Troy Gamble, and it wasn't the greatest of starts for the Aeros to give up the first goal, but which has been the story on this road trip. They battled back to tie it.
Well, when you say battle, the work ethic from the Aeros point of view tonight, Adam, is second to none. They're playing very well, working well. I'm sure Dave Tippett just wants to see them be a little more consistent. A couple turnovers that they would love to have back.
Yeah, that was something that, you know, Dave Tippett was fearful of, especially in the Fort Wayne game where I thought the Aeros played 60 strong minutes. Dave Tippett was kind of concerned that maybe that the Aeros had gotten away from their game plan in that second period. They gave up one power play goal. That was about it. But, you know, tonight the Aeros have made some turnovers, and at this point, you know, they've at least covered them up. I recall the one that was a turnover where Steve Jakes kind of saved the day after Frederick Chabot had bobbled it. And that's the way it has been on this road trip, where one guy makes a mistake, another guy steps in for him.
Well, when that guy makes the mistake, the biggest difference I notice is there's an arrow in a position to get a loose puck. And I think before, when they were going win-loss, they weren't in that position. You can see that they are playing their positions a lot better. They're a lot closer to each other so that when there is a mistake, someone's there to cover up.
For you, Troy, and a lot has been made about this road trip coming at the right time. For you, when you played, I mean, talk about the road trips. I mean, why is it so crucial that these guys get on the road like this for 10 days and spend time together? I mean, it drives me nuts when I'm home that long.
Well, the one thing, you talk about great organizations. The Montreal Canadiens always schedule a long road trip right at the start of the year because they want their players to get together. That's how you get to know each other. When you're in the city, it's very tough to get together all the time. You have other commitments, family commitments, kids, whatever else is going on. They get on the road. They're all together, and I think it just could not have come at a better time.
Do you like the bus rides?
I really do, because we talked about it during the first period, is that when you're on an airplane, a lot of times you have someone sitting in the middle, or you're talking to other people on the airplane. You're not together as a group. On the bus, you know, whatever goes on that bus, and a lot of funny incidents have happened over my career on the bus, and I'm sure that these guys will have a few stories from their bus trips.
Safe to say I don't want to hear a single one of them. 1-1 after 20 minutes of action, and we'll have more from Kemper after this. Back to Kemper Arena, the game is tied at 1. And earlier tonight, Troy Gamble had a chance to sit down with Gary Shuchuk, and Troy discussed some of the keys to the victories for the Houston Aeros with Gary.
Well, like, we're keeping the game really simple. Like Dave Tippett said in the locker room before the games, we started this road trip, that we got to play simple hockey. We're going to different rinks, and all we're doing, we're playing the game that we're supposed to. We're not making the mistakes we did at home that cost us games. For some reason, when we get to our home rink, we make dumb mistakes and cost us games. On this last 4 games, we've been getting the puck in deep, forechecking, playing simple. We're not taking the dumb penalties that we used to always take, and that's what we get. And plus, we're getting some good goaltending by Freddie and Rob Dobson.
Yeah, both of the goaltenders played very well, and the one thing, it must have been a big lift for Rob Dobson coming in last game and playing very well.
Well, I think everybody in the whole team was really happy for him. You know, I think he has one of the toughest jobs in hockey. You know, come in one every 14 games and play a game, and he still in his head and played well. You got to give him credit. But the whole team as a whole has been playing great, and that's the key. But we set a goal to win 5 in a row, and that's what we're trying to do here in Kansas City.
And we're talking with some of the players. A lot of players felt that going on the road was the best thing that could have happened to the Aeros, especially being on the bus. Did you find that being on the bus, being up north, that the guys get a little closer?
Well, you know how it is when you're on the bus. There's nowhere to go. You know, you get closer as a team. We went on as a team a bunch of times. I think it brought us closer. You know, when you get back home in Houston, we have families, we have wives, we have girlfriends. You don't really see that much of each other. But this 10-day road trip really brought us close together. I think the guys are happy it's coming to an end. But you know, road trips are good for a team morale, and especially when you win.
And when you talk about morale, the morale has to be up with this team right now.
I think not only morale, but I think it's a confidence level. I think Dave Tippett on the board always puts down winning is fun, and I think that's exactly it. We're winning games, we're having fun out there. We enjoy ourselves on our off days a bit more, you know. And I think we're playing with a lot of confidence. We're making great plays out there. And I think before, when we played back at home and we weren't winning games, I think we're gripping that stick so tight. We weren't playing with confidence, making dumb mistakes. But the last 4 games, everything's been going smooth. We're playing with a lot of confidence, and it's showing on the ice.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
Well, thank you, Troy.
Thanks, guys. We're tied at 1 here, and when we return, first period highlights. We'll be right back after this. Look, the hockey game is tied at 1 here in the first intermission. Just about ready to get started with the second period. And what do you see for changes coming into the second period, if any?
Well, I think Dave Tippett just really wants the Aeros to those costly turnovers. There was a few turnovers that they would love to have back. I'm sure he just wants to tell them, hey guys, let's keep it simple like we've been talking about, and let's go.
Let's take a look at those first period highlights. Dale Craigwell getting on the board first.
Well, it was Ian Boyso that makes everything happen. He works down low and he shakes off Al Conroy, makes a great play. He bumps the puck off behind the net, and then he finds Craigwell in the slot area. Just a great individual play by Boyce. But when he gets the puck behind the net, this is just a veteran play, as he throws it off the back of the net, fools Al Conroy, and ends up feeding it out to Craigwell, who puts it by a sprawled Frederick Chabot. But Mike Yeo ends up coming back for the Aeros. Graham Townsend skating very hard down the ice, ends up fighting for a loose puck. Mike Yeo gets it. As he shoots it, the puck is bouncing. When it bounces it, he kind of handcuffs Drewville and ends up going 5-hole. But Mike Yeo making a very good play by just getting the puck on the net. Graham Townsend forcing the turnover. As he goes to shoot it, the puck bounces up and it fools Philip Drewville, who kind of gets handcuffed. Just a great all-around working play by the Aeros.
And looking at the Southwest Airlines logbook, shots on goal 13-7, 22 scoring chances for the Kansas City Blades, and face-offs 15-8 in favor of the Kansas City Blades. And Troy, the Aeros looking to get off to a good start here in this second period.
Well, they want to get back to getting the puck deep, forcing the Blades' defense down low, and if they do that, they're going to create a lot of turnovers and have another successful period.
Here we go as we're underway, and the Kansas City Blades shoot the puck out at center. It's knocked away back into Aero territory, and the Aeros turn it around. On the left side, Guy LaRose fired it for Lamb. It goes into Kansas City territory, and the Blades are back. Normand Rochefort, forecheck by Lamb. The pass out at center for Purvis. He'll shoot the puck in. In after it is Krupke, knocked to the wall. LaRose gives chase for Houston. He'll fire it along the boards. It's to the line, but held in by Herter. Along the boards, here's Guy LaRose, spun out at center, and the Blades get it right back. Here's Gord Krupke. He'll send it to Shuchuk. Now Conroy cutting in with his shot. Stop. Rebound. They score! Al Conroy off the Philippe Derouville mistake. He made the first save, but the rebound came out to him. I shouldn't say it's a Derouville mistake. It's just Conroy jumped on it, put it behind Derouville, and the Aeros take a 2-1 lead.
Well, you just talk about an individual effort by Al Conroy to get the shot off. Gets a really nice pass from Gary Shuchuk. After he shoots it, he stays with the puck. Ends up going on his backhand and putting it back. A sprawled Kansas City defenseman, Enfield Derouville. Derouville makes a very good save to start with. Ends up kicking out a long enough rebound that Al Conroy, with the presence of mind, not turning away from the net, going to the net after he shoots it to pick up the loose rebound.
Aeros shoot the puck back at center, and they lead for the first time in this hockey game by a score of 2-1. And Al Conroy has his 4th goal of the year. Puck is shot out at center. Back to Houston Aero territory, and Steve Jakes will hustle back to play. He's forechecked by Dean Sylvester and breaking out the other way. Give it to Conroy, who has goals now in 3 straight hockey games. Freer goes in after it with Jim Kite. Battle for the puck behind the cage. Kite's got it knocked away, and there is Ian Boyce to play it. Craigwell will turn it around. Craigwell back in his own end, having a little trouble with the puck, so Blades have to regroup once again. Paul Dick pass intercepted by Conroy. He's got to wait for his teammates to get on side. Conroy had his pass tipped away, and Steve Jakes is there. Aeros back in their own end. 2 minutes gone in this second period. A 2-1 Aero lead. Here's Al May, who's in with a shot. Stopped by DeRouville. The rebound is in there, and then it was shot in, and DeRouville will sprawl down to make the save, and he will hold on. So the Aeros have come out with a lot of jump at the start of this second period. Just exactly what they needed.
Well, it ends up DeRouville makes the first save. As he tries to get up, he catches an edge. He falls down on the ice. Has the presence of mind to just lie down there as Mark Gregg was trying to fish the loose puck. But as he stands up, he catches a rut or something, falls back on his side. Almost a lucky play by DeRouville to fall down like that. And a kid that size, when he's down on the ice, very tough for Mark Gregg to go up over him for a goal.
Face off right side, controlled by Houston. Here is Hurlbutt trying to turn one in there. Knocked away along the boards, and Jeff Medill will scamper up the ice. Jeff Medill, the pass, came into Aero territory. The Aeros try to dislodge it, and they will bring it up ice. Mark Gregg, he'll scamper to the right side at center and shoot the puck into the Kansas City zone. Claudio Scremin going back. He'll touch, and icing is the call with 2.5 gone by in this second period, and a 2-1 lead. As the Aeros, Bill Bowler trying to turn things around for him offensively.
Well, he has the 3 game-winning goals this year, 25 games. He has 20 points, not the same point production he had last year playing with the Las Vegas Thunder, but lately he's seemed to turn it up a notch for Dave Tippett in the Aeros.
Dave Tippett has definitely been a lot more at ease since being on the road, and he has been so proud of his teammates, and you know, he talks so highly about them, even in their struggles. He believed in them, and he talks about that actually in the second period interview that I had with him earlier tonight, and we invite you to join us. He's so positive with his team. Here's Lamb the other way, 2-on-1, a pass, missing LaRose, picked up by the Blades, and the Blades are out at center for David Bruce. Scampering down the left side. Krupke trying to knock him to the wall. It was center to hit the skate of shoot chuck, and here come the Aeros. 2-on-1 once again. Lamb across the line. Cutting in. Winding. Shooting. He blasted his shot just wide of the net. Guy LaRose moves it down. Trying to center a pass, but Jason Herter is there. And it's brought along the boards. Herter meandering through the neutral zone. He'll bring the puck across the line. Cuts to the middle. Tossed it to the far boards. Herter trying to dump the puck in, but Dave DeCigio is there. Here come the Houston Aeros. DeCigio, lost the puck, and the Blades turn it around. Purvis all alone, the shot hit the side of the net. Oh man, that's the one guy you don't want to leave open anywhere on the ice. We talked about his big shot, but it's accurate too. Just that time it wasn't, but not by much. Here's Mark Lamb along the board, shoveled it out at center. Dale Crankwell back to his blue line for Kansas City, and the Blades are up ice. Paul Dick, a pass, hit the skate of Freer. Houston's got to get back as Sylvester's in there. He's hammered to the wall by Basiccio. Krupke to play. He skate the skate in the corner. Battle for the puck. It came out. Crankwell, piece in the right circle. Knocked it back to the line. Blades trying to move it down. Here is Scremin that's pinching. It came behind that. Ian Boyce knocked it down along the wall. Scremin turning. Scremin along the left wing boards, bumped by Freer. Ian Boyce sets up as the Blades starting to go to work right now, but the pass intercepted by May. He'll move to center ice, a man to beat Paul Dick. May in on goal with a shot. DeRouville the save, and he will hold on. 15:43 to go in the second period. The Aeros with a 2-1 lead, and we'll be back with more right after this. 106.9 FM KKHT proudly presents Faith Night with the Houston Aeros. Friday, December 6th, when the Aeros host the Long Beach Ice Dogs. You can enjoy a post-game rally with KKHT's Jim Mackrell and the Aeros' Steve Jakes and Graham Townsend. Hear how Steve and Graham incorporate their faith into the often hectic life of a professional athlete. For special group discounts, call the Aeros ticket office at 627-AERO. KKHT is the word in Texas. The word here is 2-1. The Aeros lead it on an Al Conroy goal. And a face-off to the left side of Philippe de Rouville. Bowler, Townsend, and Gray. For the Aeros, here's Valamont with a shot right on. De Rouville stopped it. Now Graham Townsend trying to gobble it up, looped it down into the corner. And the Kansas City Blades poke it away. Brent Hullett into center ice. He'll shoot the puck into the Aero end. Jakes going back. Icing is the call, and play is whistled down to bring the face-off back down into the Kansas City zone, and we send it back down to the ice. And Rob Dobson, what was talked about in the locker room in that first intermission?
Well, I think the only thing we were really happy about with the first period was the score. You know, to play like we did and come out 1-1 was a blessing, I guess. We knew we had to do little things better, get the pucks in deep, and we started off right here with the opening whistle. Al driving hard to the net and getting a good, a great goal, and we've had 2 or 3 good chances since that. So we're starting to get back to where we want to be.
Was anything said about de Rouville maybe being a little shaky?
Well, that's been mentioned throughout the day. We knew that with him starting, and he'd been pulled 4 times in a row, it seemed, and we knew the last time in there that we hit him with a lot of pucks, so we had to get the puck high, and he does give up a lot of quality rebounds, so that's important even more to drive to that net.
Thanks, Dauber. Puck is into the Aero end. Here's a pass centered in front, knocked away. Can the Aeros clear it? Not yet, but Townsend reaching for it. He'll pop it to the line. It's out at center for Gregg. He'll send the pass for Bowler. Bowler cutting in, had to circle back. Forecheck by Scremin, and then he'll just regroup at center ice as Scremin trying to poke check it loose. Bowler along the boards, had center for John Purvis. He'll drill one into Aero territory. Along the boards, Gary Emmons trying to cut in there. He's tied up by Conroy. And the Aeros finally come away with it. Here's Guy LaRose. He'll scamper down the right side. A man to beat Purvis. LaRose trying to get in on goal, and he's hauled down by Purvis. And the Aeros will at least go 4-on-4 hockey for a minute 29 and then get 31 seconds of their own power play.
Well, you've been talking about the work ethic. Guy LaRose, knowing that Purvis is a forward, says, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this situation. I'm going to go wide on him, forcing him to hook Guy LaRose up. Guy LaRose very smartly, wisely keeps his feet moving and driving. Once he goes down, he goes wide. He just keeps his feet moving, keeps his feet chopping, ends up going down. Purvis had pretty good position on him, but Joe Ernst figured, hey, I just gave you guys a power play. Now it's going to be 4-on-4.
It'll be 4-on-4 for a minute 29, and then the Aeros get 31 seconds of a power play as LaRose adjusting the ice shield.
And the one thing, Joe Ernst and Guy LaRose, they know, and the one thing is that he's a veteran player. He knew that they were penalty killing. He knew that if he kept his feet moving, going wide, and if he did fall down, there would be maybe a chance that Joe Ernst would call a penalty. It's a very smart play.
Face off to the left of Philippe de Rouville, and here's Dale Craigwell in his own zone. He'll turn along the boards, picked up by Herter. He'll motor out at center ice through the neutral zone. He hits the line as Medill cuts the net. Centering pass, Medill just chipped it wide. Now Craigwell sets up along the boards, trying to skate away from Mark Gregg. Puck to the line, Herter held it in, teetering that blue line. Here's a puck knocked down, and the Aeros motor it out to center ice. Here come the Kansas City Blades. It is Jason Herter, the pass down the left side. Medill trying to cut in. Now lets his shot go, stuck aside by Shabbat. Craigwell back to the line for Herter. Knocked one down along the boards, loosened up by Valamont. And he'll fire it up ice. And here come the Houston Aeros. Mark Gregg through the neutral zone. He lost it, and Rochefort will clear it out to center. Here come the Aeros, Mark Gregg, and in 35 seconds, the Aeros will be on the power play, but for only 31 seconds. And finally, the Blades come out. They'll hustle down the left side. Medill across the line, cutting in with his shot right on. Shabbat stopped it, rebound! And Shabbat got over there as Bowler went sliding into the net. Play moves on, though. Here's a pass back to the line. Jim tight, winding, shooting, and that thing rolls up like a missile, and Shabbat will reach over. He'll cover up, and he'll hold on with 11:06 to go in the second period. And in 16 seconds, Mark Fear will come out of the box, and the Aeros will be on the power play.
Frederick Shabbat, who's leading the IHL in minutes played, 1,300 minutes, had to be very sharp here. High shot up on his shoulders. Jeff Medill taking that high shot. He's noted to be a big shooter. You know that he's not going to make that pass to Paul Dick, who was streaking down. He's going to fire that puck. He's noted to be a big shooter. And Frederick Chabot ends up pouncing on the loose puck as Bill Bullard lost his stick behind the net.
For those of you watching on Channel 51, to look at Mad Dog Medill there, and you talk about guys that win championships. How about 3 out of the last 5 years he's been with Turner Cup teams?
And I believe that's a record in the IHL. Kansas City, Atlanta, and Denver. He was a winner. He gets the job done.
He's not a guy that is well liked, especially by the opponents. And that's the kind of role he plays. And he's been a goal scorer just about every year. I mean, he's not going to get you 50, but his goals come at such great times, and his work ethic is excellent out there. And he's a guy, obviously, you can say what you want about Jeff Medill, but the guy's got 3 rings that blind you, so I wouldn't say too much. Here is Jim Kite with his shot. That was blocked, never made it to Chabot. Kite back along the boards. Looked it down for Gary Emmons. Centers a pass for David Bruce. That's knocked away. Gary Shuchuk giving chase. And Steve Jakes will meander up and out of his zone, and then it's knocked away, and Freddie Chabot will play it. Aeros are on the power play right now with 28 seconds left in the man advantage. And here they come. It's their second power play of the night. Shuchuk hits the line. Trying to cut down. He was hauled down. And Morton probably just lost his balance, and Cerrone cleared it to center, and Jakes fell. Breakaway. Here's Sylvester alone. Shoots, and he fired it wide of the net. A tough break there for Sylvester. Puck came down. Jakes trying to knock it away. Sylvester behind the net. Stuff shot, and that's knocked away by Shuchuk. Along the boards, Dean Sylvester takes a bump from Basigio. Shuchuk is there. He lost the handle. Back to the line, Herter. The shot right on, and Chabot will glove it, and he will hold on. With 10:13 left, just as the power play had expired, we're in the second, and the Aeros with a 2-1 lead.
Good look at the goalie of the week, Frederick Chabot, who was 3-0 with a 1.33 goals against average. Sparkling save percent, 95 save percent over that time, and he had that big shutout in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, we didn't talk a lot. We didn't take a lot of look at Mark Lamb either, who had 3 goals and 3 assists to be player of the week.
Well, Frederick Chabot, there's no bobbling this puck. Watches it all the way into his glove. That came right into your living room as he drops down in that butterfly style and catches it. In the first period, he bobbled a couple. Looks very sharp at the start of the second period.
Face off to the left side of Frederick Chabot. Off the face off. Blades have it. Long shot chipped away. And it goes up and over the glass. And it's into the seats.
Well, you get a sense that the pace of the game is somewhat slowed down a little bit, so that the Aeros are happy about that. They like playing that slow down pace, especially when you've been on the road that long.
I gotta tell you, is that not Phil Collins or what? That's Lucien Deblois, their assistant. But tell me, is that not Phil Collins?
And actually, he was watching the game tape, and he said, "Come on, guys."
Oh, is he giving it to us? We did a game when Kansas City was in town. We did it on Fox. And it's amazing. He looks like Phil Collins. And then on the other side, their goaltender, which it's hard to see, Philippe Derouville's got his helmet on. Spitting image of Adam Sandler. Exactly. Here is Rochefort with a shot. Maybe if we get lucky enough that we can catch Derouville with the helmet off, we'll let you see it. But it's amazing how much he looks like him.
Well, I had a chance to talk to him today about looking like Phil Collins, and the one comment he had, he says, "I wish I had his bank account."
Is it me, or do you think Rob Dobson looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, and now I think we're going a little too far.
Oh, I don't know. 9:47 to go in the second period. And the Aeros with a 2-1 lead. And we've got an interference minor being whistled right now. And I think Mike Hurlbut is going to be nailed for that. And the Blades are going to go on the power play.
Al Conroy with that game-winning goal against Detroit has really started to pick up the play. You talked about Guy LaRose scoring that great goal in Detroit. Well, that goal that Al Conroy scored to let the Aeros take the 2-1 lead is one of those goals that he had the presence of mind after he shot the puck at him. Instead of turning and going to the corner or peeling back out, he had the presence to follow the puck and end up beating a sprawled out Rouville, who had no chances. His defenseman fell on top of him. And you just don't teach that. That's just a presence of mind from the captain, Al Conroy.
Face off right side of Frederick Chabot, and the power play on for the 3rd time this evening for Kansas City. Off the draw. It's overskated by Basigio, jumped on by Conroy, and smacked the length of the ice. That'll go down to Philippe Derouville, and he'll knock it away right over to Jason Herter. Herter behind the net. Here come the Kansas City Blades. They'll romp this center. Herter pass to the right side over to Purvis across the line. And play is whistled down with 9:25 to go to the second period. 2-1 Aeros, and we send it down to Rob Dobson. Dobber, what do you got for us?
Well, you know, that last penalty there is something that hasn't been called in a while. It's an interference call that actually, I don't think the play should have been even indicated as an icing, but Mike Hurlbutt gets caught for an interference call, and this is a big part of the hockey game. You know, we're up 2-1. We've done some good things we wanted to do. We really need to, you know, to kill this off and get back to what we want to play at.
You know what, Dobber? The one thing that this team has really improved on is the penalty killing.
Well, I have to think, and you know, you got to take pride in power play and penalty killing. It's an honor to be out there during those times, and I think guys are beginning to work a lot harder and be more creative out there.
Thanks. Off the face-off, Aeros have it. They've got 134 to go in the power play, and you can see the graphic in the last 10 games, 39 of 43. That's outstanding. It's only 4 power play goals out of 43 opportunities. Puck goes into the Aero end. In after it, it's Jason Herter. He spun off the puck, but Medill sets up base of the left circle, sends it back to the line for John Purvis. Blades send it along the boards, and it's knocked away by Guy LaRose, trying to get around Herter. LaRose brings it in, and he'll just shoot it into the Kansas City zone. There's a guy, Guy LaRose, I think his last 4 hockey games, he has been on fire. I mean, not just his offensive play, but his defensive play as well.
Well, it looks like he's skating so well, and when he skates, he's going to get chances to score.
Here's Claudio Scremin with a shot right on, and somehow Chabot had it, and he didn't know he had it, and then it was jammed away. Freddie Chabot made a right pad save off that drive from Claudio Scremin. I don't think he knew he didn't have it, or didn't know that he had it. It was trapped in that pad.
Well, it was underneath his right leg, and what ends up happening, those goalie pads weigh approximately 8 pounds apiece. Sometimes you can lose the feeling of where the puck is. It's down underneath his right leg. He did not have it totally covered. The referee had to wait until Frederick Chabot totally covered it, and it ends up covering up with his co-host stick as John Purvis was Johnny on the doorstop, trying to put one past those big pillows of Frederick Chabot, who, when we talked about goalie pads, Frederick Chabot uses a 36-inch goalie pad. Drewville, when we were saying about how big, 42 inches his goalie pad, 6 more inches in height, which is unbelievable.
Is that like the average length of your average submarine sandwich you like to have?
Oh, that's uncharted waters there, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I haven't seen you in 8 days, pal. I'm sorry. It's been nice, hasn't it? Here's Gary Shuchuk trying to make his move. Quick shot is kicked away. Say it, you missed me, right? No, I guess not. Here comes Gary Evans across the line. Dropped it back. Mark Lamb will go back, flip it along the boards. It's back to center.
No, I'd say the one thing I missed is some incredible hockey games. I was listening to the games, and unbelievable, the Aeros, their work ethic and the way that they've been playing.
Here's Gary Evans along the board, getting set along the left side, tossed it back to the line. Here's Claudio Scremin, snapped one in, the shot tipped away, and I think Chabot may have gotten a piece of that. Back behind the net, here is Jeff Medill waiting, centering one, that's knocked away. Balamont popped it free, and the Aeros able to smash it out to center ice. Paul Dick at center ice, the pass ahead for Medill. That's tossed away by Valamont. Aeros trying to bring it ahead. Battle for the puck at center. Here come the Blades. Pass comes into Pat Firschweiler. I think that's his first shift of the night as Paul Dick, a long shot stuck aside by Chabot. Sylvester into the corner. Looped it down along the boards. Here's Ian Boyce. He centered one to hit the side of the net. Mark Freer is there. Tossed it along the wall, but pinching is Jim Kite. Boyce over to Dean Sylvester, cutting into the circle with a backhander. Stop Chabot. Rebound. Toe save. Third shot stopped by Chabot. Wow, that second one was unbelievable. A right toe save to keep the Blades at bay. Holy smokes. Now the puck back to the line. Here's Balamont. Cranked it along the boards. It goes out of play. What action from Kemper Arena. The Aeros with a 2-1 lead. And we'll have more after this. It is time for the Watch and Win contest. We're going to take the 10th caller at area code 713-260-3606. 10th caller gets a round-trip ticket for 2 anywhere Southwest Airlines flies, plus a $500 gift certificate from Academy and a $500 gift certificate for accommodations from Ace Travel. Best of luck, and tell you what, Southwest Airlines ought to send Frederick Chabot on a vacation after this one. Look at that.
Well, he makes 3 excellent saves, and he shows the presence of going from his left side to his right side just so quick.
When I mean send him on a vacation, wait till after the season, though. Keep him right where he is. Puck is in behind the net. One of the Aeros falling on top of it, but it's dug out by the Blade with 6.5 to go in this second period. There's with a 2-1 lead. Here is Jeff Medill, base of the left circle. And it's knocked along the boards. And it's sent in. Here's Gary Emmons, snapshot. That's blasted away. Mike Yo just escorts it to the line, but Medill held it in. And it's popped out at center ice. Graham Townsend in pursuit of it. Out of the net to Rouville. It's knocked down by Townsend. Can Yo get there? But Rouville's back out of the net, back into the net. Here's a chance. Bowler shooting. Blocked by Rouville. Oh, Bowler had that just skip over his stick, and the Blades got lucky there. Gary Emmons fired at the center. Pushed away by Basigio, and the Aeros miscommunicated. Townsend and Bowler didn't know who was going to play it, and here come the Blades. Medill shoots right on, and Shabbat makes the save. Bill Bowler and Graham Townsend, I think, miscommunicated. One thought the other was going to go for it, and Blades said, okay, fine, we'll bring it ahead, and a good shot from Jeff Medill. But a moment ago, watch Bowler's chance.
Well, the puck jumps over his stick as he goes to throw it on the net, but an excellent play by Gary Emmons. The one thing, talking to some people around Kansas City today, Gary Emmons, they believe, has likely been their best player, most consistent player this year. He's played very well for the Blades. Usually offensive Gary Emmons, but there he was doing it on the defensive side.
Face off to the left of Frederick Shabbat. And the Aeros win the draw. Carl Valamar, he'll scamper right up the gut, give it to Shuchuk. Down the right side, across the line, he'll shoot the puck in, out of the net. Deruga will let Scremin play it, though. Along the boards, Aeros Guillereau trying to knock it down. Skate to skate along the boards. It's poked by Scremin. He's tied up along the wall. Giving chase, LaRose. He's hammered by Rochefort. And Claudio Scremin is there, hammered again along the boards. And it's pushed up and out at center ice. Scremin through the neutral zone, across the line, Cerrone. The pass intercepted by Shuchuk. He can't clear. Turned it over, Purvis. His pass, though, just too far for Cerrone to finally turn with a drive, and that puck will sail up over the glass and out of play.
Even though that the Aeros have had some turnovers, there always seems to be a guy in those blue jerseys around there. John Purvis was trying to get a shot on goal. They feel that he's starting to get back on track. John Purvis, who last year was tied with second in the IHL with 56 goals, getting back into shape. He did not come to camp in the shape that the Blades wanted him in, and he's starting to work very hard, getting in that game shape so that he can score those goals.
He's one of 3 ex-San Francisco Spiders that the Blades picked up. They also picked up Normand Rochefort and Ian Boyce. So Doug Sotart, the president and general manager, been busy in the offseason, helped him out, his hockey club, and all 3 of those acquisitions, fantastic players. Here come the Aeros. Pass intercepted by Craigwell. Craigwell cuts it down for Boyce in behind the net. Ian Boyce along the boards. He's met by Basigio. They're skate to skate along the wall. Boyce has it pinned along the boards. And did we get a whistle? No. Joe Ernst says play on. Here is Dean Sylvester, knocked away by Krupke. Back along the boards, Jim Kite. He takes a bump. And here comes Sylvester in behind, looks in front, backhanded shot whistled wide, picked up by Basigio. They shoot it to the line, held in by Herter, long shot blocked, never made it to Shabbat. And the Aeros able to chip it ahead, and here come the Aeros 3-on-2. Al May, the pass for Conroy. Conroy moving in, center, May's in with a shot, but it rolled off his stick and wide of the net. May again behind the cage, waiting, centered, blocked, puck came back to the line, it's out at center ice. Steve Jakes back to his own blue line. He'll wind it through the neutral zone. Crank one into Kansas City territory. Bowler lets it roll for Yo. Yo along the boards, had that tipped away, and it's Brent Culloden out at center. Culloden across the line, moving right in. The shot stopped by Shabbat, and the Aeros turn it around. Pass center ice for Bill Bowler. Knocked it ahead for Yo. He moves in on goal, trying to get the shot away. That'll trickle down. Oh, it was stopped by Derulo, then just squirms wide of the net. Oh, if Yo could have turned the other way, he would have had a beautiful chance. Now it's Townsend behind the cage, grinding it out. It's picked up by McGill, and they chipped it. Derulo bobbled it, but the Aeros can't come away with it, and the Blades scamper to center. Gary Emmons, team captain for Kansas City, across the line. He centered one, but one of the Blades had fallen. It was Medill. It went to the corner. Bowler loosens it up. It's cranked along the boards for Graham Townsend, knocked away by Medill. Puck sliced to the corner, and it's skipped over to Graham Townsend. Townsend, right wing boards at center, knocked down by Brent Culloden. Blades go back, and Scremin will play it. 3:05 to play in the second period, and the Aeros still with that 2-1 lead. Krupke going back to play. And he'll whip it along the boards for a waiting Graham Townsend. Knocked it out at center, but Rochefort is there. Here come the Blades. Purvis trying to cut in. That's knifed away by Townsend. Battle along the boards. LaRose and David Bruce. And finally we get a whistle, and play is halted. Timeout on the ice. 2:42 to go in the second. 2-1 the Aeros. As promised, time to announce our watch and win contestant winner, and we want to congratulate Daryl Barrett of Houston, Texas. He's off anywhere Southwest Airlines flies.
Maybe he'll catch the Aeros on the road.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a family, and I don't really know them, or just have seen them on the road before, but they made the entire trip. I haven't seen them here. I don't think they're here in Kansas City, but they every trip east, they were in Winnipeg, and they were in Fort Wayne, Michigan, and in Detroit. So there are people that make the trips. Maybe Daryl will make it. 2:24 to go in the second. 2-1 Aero lead. And it is Gordon Krupke. Fired it along the boards, and it's out at center ice. Norman Rochefort back to his own blue line. It's along the boards for Cerrone. Blasted ahead for Purvis. Cutting in around the right side. Centered. Here's David Hughes. Shot hook line of the net. Jumped on by Lamb. He's blasted to the boards by Rochefort, but LaRose is there, and he'll shoot to center ice. Gary Shuchuk across the line. That's sliced away by Craigwell, and the Blades go back to play. John Purvis, a long rink-wide pass over two lines, and Craigwell takes it. That's a two-line pass, and play is whistled down with 1:52 to go in the second period. The Aeros with a 2-1 lead. And I'll tell you what, I've talked about it, I know a lot tonight, but I cannot wait for this next home game so the fans at the Summit can see this new look of the Houston Aeros. They return to the Summit Friday night as they take on the Long Beach Ice Dogs. Tickets are available by calling Ticketmaster 629-3700. Game time 7 o'clock. The Aeros and the Ice Dogs Friday from the Summit at 7 o'clock. I can't wait.
Well, the one thing that you can see tonight that the Aeros are just playing so much more smarter and so much more disciplined. That's it's going to be a pleasure for the fans to watch them live at the Summit.
Puck is shot out at center ice, and it will be the only way to see him live. That will be a radio-only game. On 106.9 FM, there will be no television, so the only way to see this is to be at the Summit. Puck along the boards. Hirschweiler knifed in there by Valamont, and it's picked up by Basigio, and it's shuffled out at center. Conroy, nice lead pass, Freer's it alone, peeking, shooting, scoring! Barker moving in, beating Philippe Derouville over the stick side. It is 3-1, the Aeros lead it.
What a shot by Mark Freer, going top shelf over Derouville, who went down. That is the scouting report on him. Mark Freer shooting off his opposite foot, getting a great pass so from Al Conroy. That is one of the hardest passes ever to make, is the backhand pass. Aerial to a streaking Mark Freer, who made no mistake as he had Derouville go down. He ends up faking him out. Derouville thinks that he's going to go to his left, to his glove side. Mark says, ha, 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 I'm fooling you tonight. I'm going to go to your right side, and ends up beating him over his blocker side.
Can I ask you something? How do you know that Mark Freer actually went, ha, ha, ha? I want to know that.
I can see it in the replay. I can see it right in his eyes.
Oh, okay. Now the puck is flipped in behind the net. Here's a Freer again, centered. The pass in front, the shot kicked out of there by Derouville. And it's shot to center ice as Krupke hustles back. Brent Cullinan on his horse to give chase. Krupke along the wall, and it's out at center ice. Conroy trying to advance it with 50 seconds to go in this period. Freer with his 5th goal of the season. But you don't look at the 5th goal, it's the 14 assists he's got going with it. Here's a long shot right on. Shabbat stopped it, and it's poked out at center ice. Paul Dick at center, sends it back in. Gleason Herter clean to the boards by Yo, and now it is Brent Cullinan, the pass ahead for Jeff Medill, dropped it back. Cullinan's got a lane, he shoots. Shabbat may have gotten over there, but it did go wide of the net, and Yo is there. 19 seconds to go in the period. Bowler fired it in, that is shot away by Jim Kite. Gary Emmons blasted it back into Aero territory, and Basigio is there to play it. 8 seconds left in the second period as Basigio hoisted into Kansas City territory. 2 seconds, 1. There's the horn, and 2 periods gone in this hockey game, and the Aeros all of a sudden taking control of things, Troy Gamble.
Well, a couple great individual plays from a couple players that you tend to count on. Al Conroy made a great pass to Mark Freer, who ends up finishing off the play, and Gary Shuchuk makes a nice pass to Al Conroy for a goal.
So let's take a look at the high-low scoring summary. It was 1-1 after a period of play, but then Al Conroy gets his 10th of the season, 54 seconds into the period. Gord Krupke, Gary Shuchuk getting the assist. The Aeros with the 2-1 lead, and then just a moment ago, with just a minute 19 left in the period, Mark Freer, 5th goal of the season. Al Conroy getting the only assist. And the Houston Aeros with a 3-1 lead. And we will listen for Dave Tippett when we return right after this. A 3-1 hockey game after 40 minutes of play, and well, a lot of things have turned around for this Houston Aero Hockey Club on this road trip. And earlier tonight, I had a chance to talk with Dave Tippett, and I asked him what some of those things were.
With the road trip, we've started to do little things right, the simple plays that that get done and have better percentage of getting done. So in that sense, you keep the momentum. We were trying to make some tough plays that weren't getting done, and that really leads to a lot of frustration on the team. And this road trip has just been simple road games, get the puck in, don't get outnumbered against, and try to do the little things right, and it's been successful.
Two big P's in your game, positive and patience, and you've really held that through. Has it been tough?
Well, there's, when you're really looking for answers, it's it gets frustrating sometimes. And the one thing we've all said all along is we've got to keep the faith in each other and keep it going. This thing's going to turn around, and this road trip, has kind of led to some of that.
How about for you personally, before the Phoenix game, you thought you were going to adjust your coaching style a little bit and just let them play. You thought you might be breaking things down a little bit. Have you changed much since then?
No, I still, behind the scenes, I like to figure out what's going on out there. And in that sense, what it does for me is gives me a great indication of an evaluation of how each player is playing. But, as far as the game plan goes, like I said, we've tried to keep it very simple the last couple of weeks. And we turn things around a little bit, and hopefully it keeps going the right way.
Did this road trip come at the right time?
Definitely. When you lose a few games at home and you're looking to get on the road, and the old saying, the team needs to bond together, and with winning, that helps the process. And being on the road this long is definitely, guys, they're eating dinner together, eating lunch together every day, and you get to know a person. And so it's definitely come at the right time, and it's been a real positive road trip so far.
One thing that I've noticed is the confidence factor with this hockey club. It seems like in the past, if you guys made a mistake, it always resulted in a good scoring chance, if not a goal. It seems like now you make a little mistake, you've got guys bailing other guys out.
Well, that's all part of being a team, and that's that's something we've talked about since day one. But it takes a little bit of time to get that around, and obviously this trip has highlighted things like that, because we've got great goaltending from Fred Chabot. I think our defense is playing very well, and our goal scorers are helping out by getting Freddie in the decent goals. So it's a total team effort.
This week, Mark Lamb, Frederick Chabot, given the goaltender and player of the week honors. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, they both played great this week. When you go 4-0 on a road trip, you're looking to your key people that to be the best players, and both those guys in every game have been right there as our best players. And well deserved, and it's great for the organization to get that recognition.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Adam.
Head coach Dave Tippett on his team's success, and when we return, we'll look at the highlights and the stats right after this. It's a 3-1 lead in favor of the Houston Aeros. Adam Gordon, Troy Gamble, and the Aeros came out with a strong start in that second period, and they were rewarded with a goal.
Well, Gary Shuchuk makes the play happen with a great pass to Al Conroy. Al Conroy streaking down, makes a good first shot, but follows up on the rebound to put it past a sprawled Philip DeRouville. Very good, smart heads-up play by Al Conroy, just to get the shot, then follow up with the rebound. Defenseman falling all over the place. Al Conroy makes a great play, but the pass of the year, Al Conroy, once again, one of those guys stepping up, makes a great aerial pass to Mark Freer, who beats a sprawling DeRouville, but the pass makes the whole entire play happen. And when Mark Freer gets in alone here, watch DeRouville. He looks at his glove side. He drops his head, looking to his left. Mark Freer goes to the right.
And that takes us to our Southwest Airlines pilot logbook. And the shots 26-20 in favor of the Aeros. You can see the rest of the stats there. Power play 0 for 3 for Kansas City. The Aeros power play 0 for 2. The third period is next. 3-1. The Aeros lead it. We'll have the third period after this.
been around this land of ours from sea to shining sea. And if it stands for anything, it's that every man is free. Free to roam from city to city, to ride the open range. Free to come and go at will, to grab hold of the reins. But if you want to see the country in its glory and its pride, you've got to have a trusty mount that's always ready to ride.
Marcos reminds you that not all of our authentic Mexican dishes come wrapped in a tortilla. Introducing Marcos Yucatan chicken, a half chicken marinated in exotic spices, then wrapped in banana leaves and slow roasted. Marcos, we're changing your expectations.
Look, there's lots of places to get pasta, but only one is the original. For fresh ingredients and delicious sauces, there's only one fun, laid-back original pasta company. If it ain't the original, it's just an impasta. The Original Pasta Company, the place for pasta.
Hi. Hi. Doesn't it make you feel better knowing that Columbia is more than just a hospital? Sure. That they have so many ways of making you healthy. You know, like, making it easier to get your blood pressure or cholesterol checked. It's okay. Nobody's judging you.
Just underway with the start of the third period. The Aeros with a 2-goal lead at 3-1. Adam Gordon, Troy Gamble, Ice Side reporter Rob Dobson. Glad to have you with us tonight from Kemper Arena as the puck shot down the ice. And an icing call being whistled to the Houston Aeros as Guy Rose came firing in there, trying to negate the icing call, but we'll go send it down now to Rob Dobson. And Dobber, I got to ask you something. Troy Gamble was telling us that he thought that the reason for the success was him being in goal, getting the confidence back. But you're 5-0 as 4-0 as assistant coach.
Well, I have to agree. There's a couple things that have gone on. One, I'm behind the bench taking care of my defensive chores. But I think, too, when you get a guy like Troy, he was talking about how he knew what Mark Freer was going to do. He saw Mark beat him so many dang times the last 3 or 4 years. He knew exactly what was going on. But
oh, man.
He's the one who got it going.
Hey, I want to ask you real quick on Sunday. Nice win for you, and you must have felt good about that.
It was good. You know, my job's changed a lot this year. I have a new role, and it's one that I'm learning to accept, and it's just good to get in and be able to contribute.
Is it tougher working with us than going in goal?
You guys are great guys, but you are tougher to play than to play net.
Thanks. All right, we got a penalty coming up, and the whistle sounding, and I think the Aeros are going to get nailed here. I think it's going to be Jake's actually going off with Dean Sylvester, so I'd say they got mixed up a little bit there, and it'll be 4-on-4 hockey for a couple minutes.
Well, they're doing the old face wash. It looks like Jakes and Sylvester just thought they each had a couple of crumbs on their face, so they give a couple of face washes to get it off, but you're not allowed to do that, Adam, so 2 minutes. And as you say, 4-on-4, and the one thing that 4-on-4 hockey allows, a lot more skating room out there, so look for the Aeros forwards to try to drive hard on Drewville and hopefully get one more goal.
So a face-off to the right side of Frederick Chabot, who has faced 26 shots, stopped 25 of them. And, you know, it's amazing, Troy, you look at Freddie Chabot's numbers, and with a 2.97 goals against average, that still puts him amongst the lower echelon of the IHL netminders, which isn't a shot on Freddie. It's amazing on how good the goaltending is this year in the IHL.
Well, the one thing about goaltending in the IHL, they're always in a position to make the save.
Here's for in alone again, and Drewville this time will not be beat. But Mark Freer with a big burst of speed around Jim Kite went upstairs on Drewville, but Philippe was there.
Looks like Mark Freer might have put a couple jets on his feet tonight. He's flying out there, just walking the defenseman. And Drewville, we're talking about positioning and goaltending. Drewville holds his ground. There's just no place for Mark Freer to go. He knows that he's going to go down, so he's trying to go upstairs on Drewville, but with that big body of Drewville, he just keeps it and holds his position once again.
I kind of like the way Mark Freer just kind of nonchalanted the stick away from Jim Kite, which is no easy thing to do.
No, he used his strength in his left arm just to throw it out of his way.
Sergio down the right side. And it's hooked away by the Blade defense, and it's Cerrone that's up ice. We are a minute into the third period, and a 3-1 hockey game. Basigio, the pass. Conroy trying to bring it in, but it's sliced up over the glass and into the crowd.
I like the thought of what Dave Tippett is doing out there tonight. He has Al Conroy and Mark Freer playing 4-on-4. On the ice, they work very well, but off ice, they're likely the closest of friends. They both hang out together, play the occasional game of golf together. So they have that chemistry that Dave Tippett likes. He knows that they're close off ice, so why not put them on the ice? They always know where each other is with communication and knowing, playing with each other for a while.
Face off out at center ice. Conroy had the puck knifed away, and here comes Burgess across the line. Shot wide of the net. Jumped on by Basigio. Go to the corner, hit by Purvis. And it's picked up by Jason Cerrone. He is tied up by Al Conroy. Battle in behind the net, and it's picked up by Basigio, and the Aeros move up. 4-on-4 for another minute 9. Here is Basigio. Through the neutral zone, across the line. The pass came. Conroy who's in. Couldn't pull the trigger. Conroy sent it to Freer. That's knocked away. And here comes Jason Herter. At his own blue line. He'll move it up ice as he's attacked by Freer. Herter, give it to Gary Emmons. Right in, turning, shooting, sticking it aside with Shabbat. Picked up again by Herter. Tossed it back to the line. Paul Dick hurried the pass down. Emmons for Herter. Right in, the shot. Shabbat down to make the save. And Basigio will play it. Dave Basigio, watched by Emmons. 35 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. And then we'll be back to even strength, 5-on-5. Basigio gives the puck up to Krupke. Aeros looking to break out of their end. And it's out to center ice. Krupke will turn. Rink-wide pass. LaRose didn't know where it was coming from. He wanted to regroup out at center ice. Claudio Scremin back in his own zone. That's hooked away. Here come the Kansas City Blades. A pass to center ice for Gary Emmons. He'll shoot it from Medill across the line. He'll let a shot go. That's blocked. Here's another shot. And Shabbat there to make the save. Tell you what, after I thought it kind of a shaky first period for Shabbat, he has really picked up his play in the second and third period. He bobbled a few pucks, and now he's really strong. Now Jake's back out of the box with Sylvester, 5 aside. Puck is kicked away, though. And here comes Gary Emmons. A pass out at center ice. Dean Sylvester trying to move around Balamont. Sylvester into the backhander. Shabbat will glove it, and he will hold on to it with almost 3 minutes gone in the third period. And a 3-1 hockey game. Well, Aeros season tickets aren't the only way to watch the fastest game on ice. You can bring your church group, employees, club, or a softball team, or any squadron of 20 or more for an evening of fast-paced Aeros hockey action. Just call 627-AERO for more information. Houston Aeros Hockey Sports, the way it ought to be. The score, the way it ought to be. The Aeros with a 3-1 lead. 17 minutes to go in this third period. And how about Freddie Shabbat? And what he has faced in his last 3 hockey games, almost 100 shots. A lot of rubber for him. But he has been stellar. Into the planks. Puck is into the corner. And that's shot away by Gary Shuchuk, but right behind the net. And here's John Purvis. Sets it behind the Aero cage. Sends a pass in. It was center, but flipped wide. It hit the skate of David Bruce. Aeros trying to clear it. And it's out to center ice. Aeros trying to advance it, but they cannot. John Purvis hooked it back into the Aero zone. Jakes turns it around. Steve Jakes right side, gently rolled it into the Kansas City zone. That'll scoop behind DeRuville. And there's Paul Dick, hammered along the boards by Mike Gill. Lamb centered one. That's chipped away. It bounds over to Jason Cerrone, and the Blades bring it up ice. Cerrone to pass. Chipped away by Valamon. A bouncing puck that is corralled by Mark Lamb. They'll shovel it out to center ice, but the Blades are back. 3-1 Houston. Nearly 4 minutes elapsed in the third period. Here come the Blades at center ice. Culloden across the line. Watched by Conroy. Culloden lost his helmet, and off to the ice he went. Goes for it. He won a Turner Cup ring with the Denver Grizzlies, and he won it in this building in game number 4 of the Turner Cup Finals 2 years ago. Is in the corner. Here's a chance. Culloden shooting. That's wide. Rebound was redirected through the crease, but it's jumped on by Mike Hurlbut and pounded out at center ice. Freer trying to advance it. Now Pat Ferschweiler will bring it in across the line. Dropped it back, but Culloden will regroup at center. And the Kansas City Blades are back. Herter gets it into the Aero end. And Houston really in no hurry here, Troy. I mean, at this point, they're just playing more of a passive forecheck, not really giving Kansas City much.
Well, what they're doing is that they're trying to control the puck. If the Aeros have the puck, the white guys can't score, so they're just trying to control the play.
Puck is into the corner at Kansas City territory. Townsend trying to pick it up. Now Moose Morissette along the board. Shovel it down. Puck in behind the net. Bowler overskates it. Paul Dick runs it along the wall, and here comes Jeff Medill. Pass at center, knocked away by Graham Townsend. And going back to play it is Claudio Scremin. He'll shoot to center ice. Dean Sylvester hooked it into the arrow end. Bowler going back. He's taken to the boards with a hit from Medill, but he shook off the check. He'll spin it along the glass. It's back out at center ice, and Paul Dick is there.
Those are those simple plays. Bill Bowler behind the net really didn't have a play. What does he do? Knocks it high off the glass so that the Aeros can regroup and get back into the proper position.
For those of you that were listening to the road games and kind of wondering how the games had gone, I think you're getting a good look at it tonight. For those of you watching on Channel 51, this is exactly how they've gone. Simple plays as LaRosa drive right on to Rouville to save. Puck came out in front. Gary Emmons rolls it ahead, and here comes Jeff Medill. Through neutral ice, but the Aeros with 4 guys back. A shot right on. Shabbat will glove it. He will hold on to it, and that will draw a whistle, and that will draw a timeout. 6 minutes gone, third period, and the Aeros with a 2-goal lead.
If there's lots of places that you would like to see,
Fly Southwest Airlines, because friends fly free.
fly so you can learn.
Fly so you can earn.
For romance.
Give it a chance.
Fly so you can dance.
Fly so you can cry.
Fly so you can yell.
Fly because it's something that you were born to sell.
Fly, cause it's America.
From sea to shining sea.
And if you fly Southwest Airlines,
Your friend flies free.
Purchase full unrestricted fare by October 31st and a friend flies free.
See your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer.
3-1 hockey game. The Aeros lead, and it's time to look at our Columbia community calendar. December 6th, big day. It's group tickets faith night. You can enjoy a post-game rally featuring the Aeros Steve Jakes and Graham Townsend. Hear them speak about the role of faith in their lives. Call 627-AERO for your group tickets. December 6th also, it's the second annual Houston Aeros Wives Toy Drive. You can bring a toy to the game and receive a couple of $10 tickets for the price of one. All proceeds benefit the Texas Children's Hospital. And a face-off to the left side of Frederick Shabbat. Aeros win the draw with a 3-1 lead. Krupke. He'll play the puck in his own zone. High off the glass, held in by Jim Kite. Rolled down low. Here is Krupke. He'll spin it along the boards. It hit Schutchuk in the skate. David Bruce and Gary Schutchuk in the corner. The puck centered, back to the line, held in. Here's a shot redirected. Shabbat got over there behind the net. There's Purvis battling away in there, and Hurlbut will knock it down, and play is halted.
John Purvis trying to get the puck off the net. As the rule in hockey states, once the puck goes on the back of the net, the referee shall blow his whistle. Frederick Shabbat was happy for that. Joe Ernst has done a good game tonight. The one thing that as a player I always wanted is that I did not want to notice the referee. And tonight we really have not noticed Joe Ernst hardly at all.
No, called a very solid hockey game this evening. And a face-off out at center ice. Mark Lamb, Guy LaRose, and Gary Schutchuk with Dave Basiggio, Steve Jakes defensively. Cerrone at center for Kansas City with John Purvis and David Bruce. Jim Kite and Normand Rochefort defensively. Puck is hammered into the arrow end. Steve Jakes with some room to motor in behind the net. He'll slide the pass for Lamb, and it's out to center ice. And again, it got caught up in the linesman. And actually, he kicked it into the Kansas City bench, and that will halt play.
And another thing that the Aeros, Adam, are doing very well tonight, Kansas City's trying to dump the puck in. Players like Gary Schutchuk, all the forwards are really holding up very well to give the Aeros defense time to go back and make those good plays.
Yeah, absolutely. The Aeros with a 3-1 lead. 6.5 gone in the third. And again, a reminder, the Aeros home Friday night against the Long Beach Ice Dogs. It will be a radio-only game. You cannot see the game on Fox or on 51. And again, a whistle and an offsides call, and they'll bring the face-off Back out to center ice, and let's send it down to Rob Dobson. And Dobber, I was talking a little bit in this broadcast about how simple the Aeros have played it on the road. This is a classic game like we've seen the last 4.
Yeah, and that's one thing that was mentioned in between the second and third period. You know, I've never seen, although we're winning 3-1, so many guys that have been upset with our effort here this evening. We didn't feel that we were very strong along the boards. And the big thing that we preached in between the period was keep it simple, boys, make all the simple plays and don't get ourselves in trouble. You know, we'd like to do a little bit more on our end, but so far and all through the trip, that's what we've done.
All right, thanks, Dobber. Puck is in the Aero end, and big hit in the corner as Freer was loaded into the wall by Firstweiler, but the Aeros scamper to center. Al May will lead the charge as he'll crank one in there, and DeRuville got over to make the save. Rochefort popped it to center. Jake's having trouble. Heads up, it goes out of play, and we'll take timeout. We're 7 minutes into the third period, and the Aeros have a 3-1 lead, and we'll be back to Kemper Arena right after this. A 3-1 hockey game. The Aeros with the lead 7 minutes into the third.
And the one thing that I've really noticed in the third period is that the Aeros have not panicked at all. When they get the puck, they're very calm and relaxed, even though it's still a tight game at 3-1.
Puck is in the Kansas City zone. And the Blades moving up the boards. Yo trying to knock it down. McGill in there fighting for it. Here's Gary Emmons. Good battle on the boards. Jason Herter and Graham Townsend. Here's a chance in front. Stuff shot. Stopped by DeRuville. Big collision. And finally DeRuville was able to make the stop, but we've got a hooking minor coming up. And I think the Blades are going to get nailed for this. I think the Aeros are going to go on the power play for just the third time this evening.
Well, for a second there, I thought it was at a bowling alley. It was like all the pins were falling down in front of the net. There's 4 or 5 players down on the ice. Looks like Jason Herter's going to get whistled for a 2-minute penalty.
As Herter goes to the box, I'll tell you what, how great is it for Kansas City to get him back after injury?
Well, he's a huge part of this Kansas City Blade team. He really offers a huge shot from the point. He's had a couple nagging injuries this year. And you look at Mike Yeo, he got a puck or a stick in the chin area. Jerry Mines patching him up.
I don't think Mike Yeo could ever go through a game without getting injured. He has always been, he gets injured. He's had a serious injury every year that he has played. I wouldn't attribute his knee injury as a serious one. He only missed 3 games, but this guy is always banged up.
Well, the one thing about him is that he plays the game so hard, you're bound to get some nicks and bumps and bruises all over you. And back to Jason Herter. I played with Jason Herter in Kalamazoo. Ken Hitchcock, coaching the Dallas Stars, I believe is the biggest influence in Jason Herter's career and has made him a great player.
I think there's a lot of players that would say that about Ken Hitchcock. Here come the Kansas City Blades out at center. Remember, the Aeros are on the power plays. Herter's in the box, but Craigwell turns it down. Valamont rides him to the boards. And it's dug out by Craigwell. Bill Bowler trying to loosen up. Here's a shot by Purvis right on, and there was Shabbat to make the save. Basigio turns it out at center. Aeros have a 3-on-2. Across the line, Freer trying to make his move. Pulls up, looks in front, sends it back to the line. Basigio. Freer with 1.5 minutes on the power play. Sets up half boards right side. Freer in the circle. Tossed it down. Here's a chance. Bowler waiting. Sends Valamont fan on the shot. And the Blades will turn it around. Out at center ice, Craigwell. But look at Valamont get back to try and push it away. And Carl Valamont showing good hustle. But here come the Blades. David Bruce. Shot whistled wide of the net. And Bill Bowler is there. He lost the puck though. And he'll go back to get it. Power play. Mark Craig trying to bring it across the line. It was stuck aside by Jim Kite. Aeros turned it around, but Kite got it right back. And he'll send it ahead. Here comes Brent Cullen, left side, shooting. Shabbat saving. Hurlbutt will flip it along the boards, and Gregg brings it out to center ice for Gila Rose. He'll circle back as the power play is over. Teams at 5 aside. And it's shot back into Kansas City territory. Jim Kite into the corner. Worked on by Al May. Puck is chased down by Yo. Sends it to Basigio. Shot stuck aside by DeRuville. Now Yo in the corner. Looks behind the net. He's tied up by Rochefort. Yo shook off the check. Coming in there. Yo in the circle. Look at him dangle a little bit there, but finally it's pushed away out at center ice. I didn't know Mike Yo had that much dangle in him, but did a very nice job stick handling, but finally the Blades had caught up to him and the puck is down the ice.
And Mike Yo's the only Aero that's really well rested as he missed the last 3 games.
He might have had a chance to play in Detroit, but 2 things kept him out of that. One was the fact that Dave Tippett wanted him to get a good couple of practices in to get his game shaping, and 2, why tinker too much with the lineup, although I mentioned that Yo's one of those guys that doesn't affect the lineup at all. In fact, he enhanced it tonight because he's got the first goal of the game for Houston. As Craigwell cuts in with a shot, that's high and wide of the net. Picked up by Paul Dick moving down the left side. Rolled it along the boards. Yo giving chase. Here's Herter along the wall. Jason Herter and Mike Yo skate this skate in there. Conroy trying to tie up his man. Finally he does, and whistle stops play with 9:24 to go in the third period. And the Aeros with a 3-1 lead as you look at Mike Yo. What a game he's having. There's a look at Philippe Drew. Tell me, that doesn't look like Adam Sandler?
Certainly does. I'm sure that he gets questioned all the time about that.
I want to apologize to some of our viewers that we are experiencing some technical difficulties in different areas of the viewing area, so we apologize for that, and we have our top-notch technicians working on that, and we hope to have that solved shortly.
Good look at the Aeros bench. Before the game, I was down in the locker room. What a happy place to be around. These guys have said, hey, you know, 10-day road trip, it went by pretty quick. Road trips seem to fly by when you're having success on the road.
That hasn't been bad at all. Face off left side of Frederick Chabot, Pat Ferschweiler into the circle to take the draw against Bill Bowler. Now Bowler talking to the linesman and doesn't like what's going to happen. He's going to be tossed out of the circle.
And talking about that road trip, the key of the road trip was the Detroit game. The Aeros dead tired, and Rob Dobson coming up just with a tremendous performance to keep the streak alive. And Gary Shuchuk was saying in the interview there that Rob Dobson likely has the toughest job on this Aero team.
Yeah, I don't know how tough it could be for a guy who misses 15 games, steps in there, plays outstanding. Here's Crankwell the other way, shooting, and he hooked the drive just wide of the net. Bill Bowler will pick it up, and we've got a whistle and a penalty coming up. With 9:10 left, a slashing minor, and the Aeros are going to be short-handed as Dale Crankwell feeling that a little bit on his wrist.
Well, he was flying in off the wing. It was a turnover in the neutral zone, and as he went by Gord Krupke, he gave him a tap on the wrist.
You call that a tap?
Yeah. Craigwell's going to feel it for a little bit, but it's those short cuff gloves. What happens is you get hit on the bone area. It hurts a lot. Gord Krupke comes in after he shoots and gives him the whack, saying, hey, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, that was definitely a tap, Troy.
Well, after you see it on replay, maybe it was a little harder than a tap.
Well, Krupke in the box, and the Kansas City Blades will go on the power play, and they've got to get something going now.
And this is a great opportunity for the killing unit to keep on doing the same thing that they've had success with. And the one thing that they've done very well tonight is they've jumped on loose pucks and got them all the way down the ice. Just not out into the neutral zone, all the way down the ice.
Face off to the right side of Frederick Chabot as the puck is in a scrum between Cerrone and Lamb. It's gobbled up by David Bruce. Picked up by Purvis, back to the line. Here's Medill, sends it down. Purvis cutting in with a shot, deflected away. Cerrone will take the puck, roll it back down. Jake's trying to hammer it away. He collided with Purvis. Cerrone sets up base of the right circle. Here's a shot from the line by Herter. In front, Bruce trying to lunge for it, and finally it was Hurlbut that will clear it back down the ice. 8:40 to go in the third period, and a 3-1 Aero lead, but the Blades on the power play for another $1.26. Bruce across the line. Shot the puck into the Aero zone. Medill. He'll slice it back to the line for Purvis, trying to scoop it back for Medill. Freer battling in there. It bounced away from him. Medill will turn, give it to Claudio Scremin. The pass for Purvis as he turns fireboards. Now Medill with a lane. Lets the shot go knocked down in front, but Valamont was there, and he will backhand that the length of the ice.
And that's one thing that Carl Valmont adds to this team. He gets that puck on the backhand. He is so strong in the wrist area. He's able to get it high off the glass all the way down the ice.
Power play down to 53 seconds. Aeros with possession. Besicio in his own zone will just maybe also in his own end, but he sends it back down into the Blade zone. Here is Craigwell. Give it to Gary Evans across the line. It hits skates. It bounced back out to Craigwell, but Shuchuk dumps on it. And here he comes to center. Gary Shuchuk through center ice, across the line to Lamb, pulls up, trying to steer a centering pass, but Scremin was there. Move it out at center. Here comes Culloden across the line, but Jake's tipped that away, and he'll move it up and out to center ice. 7:30 to go. The power play down to 20 seconds, and the Aeros with a 3-1 lead.
Playing very well once again, getting the puck all the way down the ice. Very aggressive on the killing unit, forcing the Blades to make mistakes.
Herter turns it back to Craigwell. Scremin sets up. Right wing boards. He tried to center one in there, knocked away. Herter scampered back to the point. Long shot, redirected away by Hurlbutt bound to the far corner. And the penalty is over. His teams are at 5-a-side. Here is Scremin from the swap. The shot blocked by Shabbat. He dropped it out in front, but the Aeros trying to clear. Smack to the wall, Emmons. Back down low, here's Steve Jakes. He'll move up the right wing, and he'll scamper up the boards and shoot it into Kansas City territory. Icing indicated, but they'll wave it off as the Aeros can make changes on the go. 6:45 to play in the third period. Aeros still with that 2-goal lead. Pass to center ice. Basigio knocked it ahead. Bowler turns it around. It goes into Kansas City territory, and the Blades are back.
And I like what Dave Tippett has going here. This is one of the first times the Aeros have had to set up in their trap, but they've been still very aggressive on their forecheck.
Puck shot the length of the ice. Valamont wanted to get there, and instead Shabbat will cover it up, and he will hold on with 6:22 to go in the third period. The Aeros with a 3-1 lead, and we'll be back with more from Kemper Arena right after this. Houston with a 3-1 lead, 6:22 to go, and this hockey team, the Houston Aeros, have always played well on the road. But look at the numbers. Their first 4 on the road. They were just the 1 point in San Antonio. They went 0-3-1, but their last 9 games, 8-1. They have 5 straight on the road, but if they win tonight, which 6:22 left and up by 2, it'll be 6 straight. Face off to the left side of Freddie Shabbat. Ferschweiler, McLean, and Craigwell out there for Kansas City. The Aeros with their LaRose, Lamb, and Shuchuk line. And here's Paul Dick. A shot blocked by LaRose, and he was able to push it right back to center ice.
And I've never seen the Aeros block and get their sticks and their bodies in front. And that's just from being in good position. They're going out at players in a position to force the players to shoot it into them.
And the scary part is, and Rob Dobson alluded to it, you've alluded to it, the Aeros are not having that great a game. Yeah, they're playing well, but they've been upset about, and you could hear it on the bench, that they wanted to pick up the effort a little bit here, and you know, that's good. That's a good sign, because they're not satisfied with just a win. I mean, a win is a win, yeah, that's fine, but you got to play well, and especially when you start getting into the teams when Orlando comes back in. Long Beach on Friday night at the Summit when the Aeros return home. Don't kid yourself. Long Beach has turned things around. We touched upon it. They have won 8 in a row, and their next game will be Friday when they go to the Summit. They'll try to make it 9 in a row, but Long Beach has caught Utah, so now Houston with 25.7 back of Utah, 8 points back of the Long Beach Ice Dogs.
Well, basically what it is, it's the best 2 teams in the IHL at this point. Right now, the hottest teams in the IHL, with Orlando losing the other night.
Well, the Southwest Division is going to be a tighter division, especially with the Aeros playing the way they are. Here's Claudio Scremin in behind the net. Here's Scremin, a pass over to the far board. Give it to John Curtis. That's a 2-line pass and play, whistle down. Well, with the holidays looming around, you have a chance to celebrate those holidays downtown at the Southwestern Bell Miracle on Main Street. This year, downtown's popular ice rink will be bigger and open longer. You can bring your friends and family any day from November 22nd through January the 5th. Some of your Houston Aeros will also be on hand December 15th, 18th, 21st, and 28th. It's the Miracle on Main Street. It's the most exciting place to be for the holidays, outside of hanging around Troy Gamble.
And actually last year, when it was the first year they ever did it, I had an opportunity to go down and skate. It's kind of different being in Houston, Texas. You don't think of ice being outside, but they do a great job downtown.
You know who's got a great outdoor arena? I mean, everyone talks about Rockefeller Center in New York, but you know where I used to like to skate was in Spokane, Washington, the outdoor rink there, and you would know it very well. Well, it was an outdoor rink that they ran for most of the year, just not when they heat in the summer.
Exactly, and the whole entire complex there in Spokane was left over from an expo that they had in Spokane, and that was back in the junior days. I used to practice every once in a while when the Coliseum was being used.
I can't remember the name of it. Help me. I used to skate
Riverfront
there.
Park.
Riverfront Park, thank you. Oh, now we can get on with our jobs. I'm sure everyone in Houston really needed to know that, and I'm so glad we took care of that. 5:25 to go in the third period, and it goes down into Aero territory. Shabbat will flip it along the boards. Purvis giving chase. Al May able to scoop that up and get it out at center, and Mark Freer is there. Goes into Kansas City territory. Scremin is back to play it, and he will touch it, and icing is the call with 5:07 to go. And the Aeros with a 3-1 lead. And we do know this much, that if the Aeros win, they will get ground on the Long Beach Ice, because as we said, Long Beach is idle. And Utah tonight, they're at Phoenix. And the last I heard out of that game, it was 1-0 Utah at the end of one.
Good look at Steve Jakes, who the last game against Kansas City was a +3, November 15th. Had career highs last year in the penalty box with 285 minutes.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Frederick Chabot. Top of the puck, and the Blades have it. Paul Dick from the point, long shot right on, and Chabot there to glove it and play it over to Mike Hurlbut. Pass out at center ice. Herter back to his own blue line, and the Blades want to get back into this thing. They better hustle as we're down to under 5 minutes to play.
And the one thing that's very noticeable as this period develops is that the Aeros are so calm. They're so confident out on the ice with their plays. That's a very tough team to play right now.
Here is Herter for Kansas City. Shot it out at center ice. Pass goes into the Aero end. Jeff Medill down the boards. He is bumped by Hurlbut. Pushed away. Emmons sends to Culloden. That's knifed out at center. And here comes Mark Freer. Fired it into the Aero end. That's pushed by DeRouville. Herter rolled it up the boards, and here come the Kansas City Blades. Brent Culloden across the line, cutting in. Looks down low, lets the shot go way wide of the net. Basidio giving chase. He's got Medill wrapped up and hammered him right into the wall, but he got the puck to the line. Yo fighting for it. It came back down low. Medill turning, and he's hauled down. Down into Basidio. Medill wanting a penalty, won't get the call. Basidio in behind his net. And then, then Medill with a brutal penalty. How bad is that? Medill then takes a chop at Basidio, and he should be out of this hockey game. Took a chop at Basidio. He was upset that he was run into and didn't get a penalty here. And we'll sort this out when we return. This thing could turn ugly. It is 3-1. The Aeros lead it.
A little frustration showing in Jeff Medill, who takes liberties on Dave Basidio. Before that, he had got down, but that hurts when you get a two-hander like that, and that's just frustration. He ends up getting 4 minutes. He's out of the game. Very smart move by Ernst to get him out of the game.
But he's not. He's on the penalty box. I mean, if the Aeros were to score 2 goals, he could still be in the game.
Well, that is correct, Adam. I never thought of that. They should get him out of the game because it is pretty ugly, and this is all what it stands from, is that Dave Basidio was just holding his ground. Joe Ernst was right in a position to make a call if he wanted to on a penalty, but he felt it was not a penalty. Jeff Medill thought otherwise.
Well, I don't have a problem with Medill retaliating and maybe giving him an extra shot or something, but a two-hander like that I do have a problem with. I mean, retaliation, that's part of the game if you want to take a penalty, but not if you're going to do a two-hander like that. He gets a 4-minute double minor, so for all intents and purposes, the Aeros will finish this game on the power play unless they score 2 goals pretty quick here. Here's Shuchuk. Spins one back to the line for Dave Basidio. Hooks it back down. Mark Lamb trying to cut in. Rolled it down along for Guy LaRose. Base of the circle. Aeros on the power play. Here is Lamb. Cuts it back. Shuchuk stand on the shot. Didn't get good wood on it. Puck is scooped up by Dale Craigwell, and he'll move out at center ice. Give it up for Rochefort. He'll drill one just wide of the net, and Basidio is there. Here's Mike Hurlbut. It's into the corner. Craigwell bumped there. And back to center ice. Culloden. Long shot, the blocker save made by Chabot. We're under 3 minutes to go in the hockey game. Aeros with a 3-1 lead. The power play has got 3:03 left in it, so here's LaRose. Down along the left side. Over to Mark Lamb, base of the circle. Pass went through Shuchuk. Jeff McLean on to flip it away, and it's out to center ice for John Purvis. Center. Claudio Scremin. Bring it across the line. Scremin short-handed, cutting in. Right to center one to McLean, who just flipped it wide of the net. And here is Steve Jakes to play it. Jakes out at center, a pass for Freer. He'll bring it across the line. Drops it back for Al Conroy, who sets up on the power play. Conroy slides it for Freer. He's bumped by Paul Dick. Puck is in skates. They battle for it. It's fished back along the boards. Held in by Valamont. Sends it back. Here's Jakes. The shot blocked. It's cleared out at center ice, and Steve Jakes is there. Jakes through the neutral zone. Give it to Freer. That's poke check. Now Emmons turning. He'll bring it out at center. That's tipped away, and Almay is at neutral ice, and the Aeros are back. 3-1 Houston. Jakes in his own zone. First part of the penalty to Medill is over. And here is Carl Valamont. Bill Bowler. The pass over to Mike Yeo. Cutting in. He centered one. Rochefort blocked it. Flipped back to the line. Besidio held that in nicely. I don't know how he did that, but he did it beautifully. Puck teetering the blue line. And it's back to center ice. Emmons chipped away. And the Aeros will go back. Here is Dave Besidio with 1:20 to go in the hockey game. The pass over to Bill Bowler. Through the neutral zone, he'll just dump it in. The Aeros giving chase. Mike Yeo had it skip over his stick, and David Bruce will bring it out the other way. Bruce at center for Herter. Hits the line and lost the handle. Bruce had to regroup, and Rochefort's got it. Herter through neutral ice as we're down to the final minute. Puck comes down. Herter the shot hit the side of the net. Besidio will play it over to Bill Bowler, and that takes a weird hop. It came out along the boards, and Townsend scooped it away. No icing as Herter is back. 48 seconds left in the hockey game. Paul Dick across the line. A long shot heads up. That goes into the crowd with 38 seconds left in the third period. 3-1. The Aeros lead it. And let's send it down. Rob Dobson, you had the Antler Award following the Detroit game. Who do you like? I mean, who are some of the guys you like?
Oh, well, Adam, I don't know. I can't give it to Troy for his first game back in a while, but I think I'll have to go to my other partner. 37 shots, 36 saves, and we really didn't play a great first and second. Freddie was there to make some big saves to give us the opportunity to get the lead and keep it. So, I have to give it back to him.
I like your style, keeping it in that goalie union.
Well, I get in a lot of trouble if I don't, more from you than from Freddie, but he deserves it. Everybody's played well the whole road trip, and it's been a real confidence boost. You can see here other teams starting to get frustrated more so than us.
Quickly, Dob, are you excited about getting back to the summit?
I think so. We've just played so well on the road. It's been a real good trip for our team to get back and play in front of the home crowd. Just hopefully build from there will be a positive even more for us.
Thanks a lot. And they'll be back in the summit on Friday to take on the Long Beach Ice Dogs. Puck is along the boards. Jeff McLean hit by Vala. Aeros on the power play for what it's worth. There's 23 seconds left in the game. Puck behind the Aero net. Valamont trying to kick it free. McLean's got it hemmed in. That will draw the whistle with 19 seconds left. And the Aeros with a 3-1 lead. And looks like the Aeros are going to get to 500 for the first time since the 94-95 season.
And Adam, I cannot stress enough for the people that have not bought tickets for Friday's game with the Aeros coming back home, having won 5 straight on the road. And the one character I think that people that have been out to the summit and who have been watching on Channel 51 and on Prime is that you're going to notice a more confident team and a team that now really believes that they can win any night.
Scremin from the draw, a shot trickled down. Shabbat picked it up somehow, and we've got a whistle. And I think we're going to have a penalty here with 14 seconds left, and that'll finish this game 4-on-4. So the Aeros, well, we got a second here. The Aeros will go to 13-13-1 with 27 points. For the time being, 5 short of Utah. Like we said in the first period, Utah leading Phoenix in Phoenix 1-0. But the Aeros do gain ground on Long Beach, who is idle tonight. So the Aeros at least with a chance to maybe move up a little bit in the standings.
And Don Jackson, never giving up, has pulled the goaltender. 14 seconds left. The Aeros leading by 2. And I'm sure Frederick Shabbat will not go for the empty net, but the other hombre down there, Rob Dobson, if he was in this situation, I do believe that we'd see Dauber out trying to fire the puck down.
I asked him after the Detroit game, after they had pulled Jeff Reese, I asked Dauber if he wanted a chance, and he said there were a couple times I had the big eyes and wanted to go for it, but it didn't work out. That's a guy that could definitely do it. Here's a puck that's swept away by the Aeros, blasted the length of the ice by Hurl, but this will be an icing call as the Blades scamper back. Herter to touch it with 5 seconds left. So the Houston Aeros go 5-0 on the road trip. And I mean, I can't think of anything more that's going to build this hockey team and give them momentum and confidence into the future games.
Well, and Adam, I can't tell you how excited that I am, as I thought maybe I was a little bit of a jinx here, coming have missed the last 4 games, you kind of get a little worried that maybe guys think, hey, maybe Troy shouldn't come on the road.
We know better. We know better. And we know that the face-off to the left side, controlled by Kansas City. 2 seconds left, backhander right on, Shabbat to save. And the Houston Aeros have defeated the Kansas City Blades by a score of 3-1. And the Houston Aeros, Frederick Shabbat, facing 37 shots, stopping 36 of them. And it has been an outstanding road trip, and congratulations to the boys, I'm sure.
Well, it has to be one of the best all-time road trips in the IHL. And the reason I say that, Adam, is 4 games in 5 nights at one point during the trip. The night game in Fort Wayne, the tough travel to Detroit, and this team has really shown some great character.
All right, the Aeros win it by a score of 3-1, and we'll assess everything and wrap it up right after this. 3-1 final. The Aeros have rattled off 5 in a row, all on the road, and what a road trip for them. They win it 3-1, and it takes us to the Whataburger. What a play of the game, and it came off a beautiful pass from Al Conroy.
Well, Al Conroy, the #1 star tonight, gives it to the 2nd star of the game, Mark Freer, just makes a great shot, totally fooling Grooville.
Whataburger, the homegrown Texas taste since 1950. I can't say enough. The Aeros back home Friday night against the Long Beach Ice Dogs. It's a radio-only game. Tickets are available 629-3700. Be sure to get your tickets and join us there. Next telecast is this Saturday night from the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum as the Aeros take on the Phoenix Roadrunners. We'll be on the air with all the action beginning at 8 o'clock. My thanks to Troy Gamble, our producer tonight, Tim Sullivan, our director, Tom Adza. For everybody, good night. 3-1.